Hello, folks, and hey, Bear.
There it is.
We're having a good time, and
you can't shoehorn that in. This is not that podcast. We are having a good time.
We are having a good time.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. We're having a good time here. We're pumped to be here. I know I don't want to get in too early on a Viore sponsorship, but I got a confession to make to you guys. I've been a big proponent of I'm Dusty Slay. I'm here with Brian Bates and Aaron Weber.
We're having a good time.
Yeah, and this and last weekend, this weekend and last weekend, I've been wearing Viore pants in the airport.
Okay.
Not jeans, like I say that everybody should be wearing.
Right.
But I have Viore. I have long pants by Viore, and they have the pockets, both back pockets. I like to keep my wallet in my back left pocket. And a lot of gym shorts only want to give you the right pocket.
Right.
So it's uncomfortable for me. But Viore gives you both. And I've been rocking it, and it feels good.
I can't picture you not in denim.
I know.
I mean, Viore is a sponsor if you wanted to save that for...
Well, but this is a bonus ad for them. This is a bonus ad. I mean, Viore should be very happy about the bonus ad.
Yeah.
Snuck one in that, people aren't even going to skip.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, I was using Delete Me this weekend, and that was...
all right. So
where's Nate?
I have no idea. Nate's not here.
Where is Nate?
I know that.
He's still doing comedy, right?
Who knows?
Were you out with Nate this weekend?
No, I was not. He was. Let's see, who was what? I saw it was Justin Smith, Keith Alberstadt, and
that's fun.
Mike
I love
McKim.
Keith. I've not seen Keith in a long time.
I haven't either. I do love Keith. No, I think Nate is out doing comedy, and he'll be back next week.
All right. Yeah, I don't know anything. I just come in and then people go, Nate's not here, and then we just get into it.
You didn't know until today that he wasn't here?
No, I mean, you guys had said he's not going to be here, but I'm just saying, they don't need all those details when I found out. But, point being, when they go, Nate's not here, I don't go, where's he going to be?
Right.
Yeah, you're on a need-to-know basis. And You don't need to know.
I don't get a lot of information. You guys get information. You guys take meetings I don't take. You guys get all sort of different things that I don't get to take part of.
Well, you got a lot going on. So I think we filter things out for your benefit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. But yeah, you guys are, you got a different connection.
Well, I think they're looking at me and like, he ain't doing anything. Let's start with him. He got nothing going on. And then they just save you for the important meetings.
Yeah. Well, so far, I guess there have been no important meetings.
There haven't been.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But this weekend, I would like to mention last weekend too, because I wasn't here. I did Cape Girardeau, a casino in Cape Girardeau. Awesome. It's called Century Casino. They really hooked me up. They comped all my meals. I was telling everybody it was a corporate gig I thought it had been saved in my calendar as a corporate gig. And I found out that day it wasn't a corporate gig. And I made an announcement. They said it was a nice boost in ticket sales. It was great. It was a hot show.
That's happened a lot to you recently.
Yeah. The casino hooked me up. Maybe it may be the same gig.
No, it was a college that you thought was a private gig, and then
well, I think that one, the college took their own initiative to make it not just a private gig.
Okay,
they were like, "We're going to lose money on this," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's what college gigs are. You lose money and you get some sort of tax write-off."
Yeah,
I'm sure.
And the show's horrible. That's the trade-off.
Yeah.
So for me, it would be the opposite. Like it would be a public, and they were like, "Is this a corporate?" Because there's nobody here except immediate family.
But then I went to the Factory in St. Louis, which is really awesome. A really great theater, really awesome. A lot of fun there. Met some podcast people. Yep. I don't know if they're just my podcast or this one too. I'm sure it's both.
Not folks though, podcast people.
Yeah, podcast people. Yeah, exactly. That's what I got. That's what they got upset with me about, calling them podcast people instead of folks.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, to me, folks is vague. I met some folks this week, and it's like, yeah, of course you did. You were out doing comedy.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I met podcast people. I met some podcast folks.
Yeah.
And then I went to Royal Oak, Michigan. I did 2 shows there at a theater called the Royal Oak Theater, Music Theater. And
the Royal Oak Theater, Music Theater.
Yeah, and I met an internet guy that I really like. I was going to give you guys this shirt because he gave me 2, and this one's a little bigger.
How big?
Extra large.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. It's
what are you gonna do with an XL? That's massive.
A guy named Wayne County Life.
It's clutch.
And if you never looked up Wayne County Life on like TikTok or Instagram, he's very funny. If you look up Wayne County Life, Smash Mouth, it's so funny. I don't know if he's clean, but it's very funny guy. Lives in Michigan. Came to the show. I'm a big fan.
What are you gonna do with that?
I'm gonna give it to you.
Well, you could be a good sweat towel.
Well, I'll keep it if you guys are just gonna dry your sweat with it.
No, you understand what happened is you go, man, this shirt's huge and it's an XL.
Oh, it's too big. Did I say huge?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You made it seem like you're like, this is too big of a shirt.
Yeah, it's too big for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But then this weekend,
let me ask you though, what was the show where all the Dusty Slay impersonators were there and y'all did a group photo?
Oh, that was 3 weeks ago at the Brimstone Festival. It's an outdoor festival where there were a lot of side-by-sides. Have we not talked about that either on here? How long's it been since I've been to the podcast?
Years, I think.
Oh, yeah. I guess we had Memorial Day where we missed one.
Right.
Yeah, I did an outdoor festival where it was like it was called like the White Knuckle event where it was all side-by-sides and it was an outdoor show. And I thought this is going to be awful. And it was great. Yeah. I mean, it was great because I thought it was going to be awful.
Right. Well, isn't this a lesson in life? I've thought about this recently. If you just assume everything's going to be bad, you can only be pleasantly surprised.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Never expect anything will be good.
I mean, I really thought this would be bad. Okay. It was outside, and I just was preparing myself for just the worst show. And then a bunch of people showed up dressed like me, and we took a group photo, and like a bunch of people came just to see me. I thought I'm just entertaining people at this event.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a lot of my fans there. It was really great. I had a great time.
That's awesome.
This weekend, I did 2 shows. I did Fargo, North Dakota.
Nice.
I've been to Fargo before, but it's been a long time, and it was really great. I took Paula.
Paula Kaczynski.
Kaczynski, yeah.
Kaczynski?
Yeah.
Okay. She is the husband or the wife of John DeToy, who we've talked about on this podcast.
Yeah.
The world champion yo-yo.
Yeah.
Ist.
And they're from Fargo.
That's right. It's their hometown.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal for them to get to come there and do the big theater with
and
you.
And she crushed. And I also had my friend Paul Farvar there with me. And they were a hot show. And I did Fargo and then Bismarck, North Dakota, which I've never been to.
It's the capital, right?
It is. And it was great. I loved it. Bismarck was a pretty rowdy show. Uh-huh. Actually, I was walking to a grocery store before the show, and this big, like, Suburban came barreling through the parking lot, like, yelling out the window. And they were, like, coming to the show. And I guess they saw me walking. So they got out. We took a picture out there in the parking lot. It was great.
Yeah.
How many groceries you buy for one day in a town?
Well, if they have some organic fruit, I'll buy a good bit of stuff. But there was not a lot of organic stuff going on in the Bismarck. So I bought.
Put this stuff on your rider now? You can have this stuff at the theater.
Yeah, but, it's really, it sounds so pretentious to be like only organic fruit. And if it comes and it's not organic, I don't eat it. And, but that is where I'm at with fruit these days. And so I bought like a quarter of a watermelon, which wasn't organic. And I ate it. In my hotel room with a plastic spoon at the office desk. And, I've not felt good since.
From watermelon.
I don't know if it was the watermelon. I've not been sick, but I've been burping a lot.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All the seeds. You probably eat the seeds.
Right? I do eat the seeds, but it's tough to find a seeded watermelon out here. Right. Actually, when I was driving through Missouri on the way from Cape Girardeau, on the way to Cape Girardeau, I stopped at an old fruit stand, and there was an old man out there selling fruit, and I bought a seeded watermelon. Carried that into the casino with me, cut it up in the penthouse in there, and I ate watermelon all on the way.
You walked into a casino with a watermelon in your arms?
They go, I like your watermelon. I go, I appreciate it. It's seeded. It's a seeded watermelon. This is coveted.
And most people go, oh, that stinks. And you go, no, I went out of my way to get
That's what I want. I eat the watermelon. I chew them up.
You mean if I go to Kroger, buy watermelon, I can't find one with seeds?
You might be able to. Sometimes you can, but most of the time it's all seedless.
Because Dusty comes in there and buys them out when they get them.
Me and my sister will buy like 4 or 5 watermelons if she finds seeded.
Where's she keeping them?
You keep them in the garage or whatever where it's like dark and a little cold.
Oh, not in the fridge, huh?
Well, once you cut it, you put it in the fridge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to joke about watermelons. Didn't work.
This weekend?
No, but just in the past. Might as well.
What was it? Yeah, I want to hear it.
They're just way overrated. You need 2 people to help you haul it into your house.
Oh, well, that's where you're losing everybody. Watermelon is like the best fruit.
You didn't even hear the punchline.
You lost everybody at the setup. You go, watermelon's overrated. You're like, oh, no, you're wrong. I mean, it's like,
you can't even let me hear
him out.
Watermelon's the best. All right, I'll hear you.
Yeah, let him hear that.
Well, I mean, now I'm completely lost confidence.
It's overrated.
Yeah.
Let's air and
You got to find someone to help you haul it in. It takes up half your refrigerator.
Right.
You need a Ginzu knife just to get a piece.
That's good.
There's just a lot of work to put in for something you're going to be hungry again in 30 seconds because it's just air and
How
water.
much are you eating of it, though? I mean, I'll eat a half a watermelon.
Can you imagine if there's a guy like this in the crowd every time you try to do a joke like that?
Not true.
Well, how much you eat though? You're like, I don't know, dude. It's a joke. I'm trying to get.
He's heckling me with watermelon facts.
I love watermelon, though. So I'm like, watermelon's my favorite fruit, and then grapes.
Okay. Well, I was wondering. What was number 2?
Yeah, we'll cover 3 and 4 next week.
Yeah.
But
Green grapes or
I actually like the darker grapes.
is that purple?
Yeah, all of them. Because
I wasn't even sure.
well, there's like real dark, and then there's kind of a purple, and then there's green.
Mhm.
I'll eat any of them, organic. But
Okay.
if it's not organic, don't even eat it.
Yeah.
But
I got to think non-organic fruit is better for you than 90% of the food we're eating out there.
maybe.
Right?
I mean, if you can wash all the pesticides off.
Yeah. And this is coming from a guy. That's what you used to do.
Yeah.
So you just trying to overcompensate for all the damage you did to the
Well,
world?
yeah, a bit. Yeah. Yeah.
How's the pesticides getting in watermelon? It seeps through?
Watermelon, I think there are some fruits that are okay. Like I think sweet potatoes. I know that's not a fruit, but I think there are some things that it doesn't matter. Like I think a sweet potato doesn't matter, organic or non-organic.
Okay.
There are some. Watermelon, yeah, I don't know. I just think you want to avoid that GMO seedless watermelon.
Okay. I'll try.
You just want to avoid that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. And also when you buy, my understanding is if you go to the grocery store and buy the fruit that's already cut up inside the plastic containers, that's probably a fruit that something's gone wrong with it. It's been dropped or it's got something happen and they go, let's just cut it up, put it in the container, mark up the price. And
there's a little mold on the corner of it.
Yeah.
Like, all right, cut the rest off.
I've done that. I'm so lazy about watermelon.
I'll do it
I'll
too.
buy the slices.
Yeah.
Just
buy the fruit salad. It's all mixed up, ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, I have some of that in my fridge right now. The moldy thing doesn't bother me, but
You don't like a little mold. You don't mind a little mold.
no.
It helps you,
When
right?
I was growing up, bread used to get mold on it. It feels like bread never gets mold now.
Oh, it gets mold.
Does it?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up, it would get moldy pretty quick, and me and my mom would just pick the mold off and eat the bread.
We got the bread.
Probably what's wrong with my stomach.
Yeah. So we're just going to move on for that.
Yeah, we'll move on. Where were you?
You guys were not poor, though.
No, I mean,
silver
none of us
spoons
grew
under
up in
the couch.
mansions.
You
Dude.
had silver spoons under the couch, though, or something.
well, that's true.
We did.
Yeah, yeah.
My mom started putting the bread, I guess she still does, in the refrigerator to try to
Smart.
preserve it
Yeah,
longer.
Smart.
Then you got to put it in the microwave for 5 seconds to knock the
You got to thaw it out.
frost off. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what?
oh.
This is the last thing.
Take your time.
Yeah.
In Bismarck, I went to the airport. I was about the only person in that entire airport. And I was definitely the only person in the security checkout and check-in line. And I got randomly selected. How do you get randomly selected? They even said it. Oh, you've been randomly selected. I'm like, I'm the only one in here.
Did you go through clear?
I don't think they had clear
Yeah,
at
I know.
Bismarck.
I know.
It's all clear.
So you were the only person going through security at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy was like checking my ID, was like really looking hard at it. And me, I'm like, dude, okay, you think I'm trying to take down the Bismarck airport? Jeez, dude. These people at TSA, they take their job so serious.
Right.
It's like you're not doing anything.
They probably
You're
got a
just
certain quota they got to hit. And when
Yeah.
there's 6 people coming through all day,
That's
You're just
true.
there to make the weak people feel safe. That's all they're there to do. And to violate our rights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all they're there to do.
Yeah.
I was off this weekend, but I want to mention like Dusty, I'm going to go back a little bit. 2 weeks ago, I was at Stand Up Live in Huntsville, headline down there. And
great club.
Yeah. About halfway through my set, power goes out. And
they said, cut the breaker.
Like Nate's sitting over here.
Yeah.
Dusty's usually a little more supportive.
So how far into your set were you?
Halfway through. So I got about 30 minutes left.
Wow.
And it goes dark and the mic goes out. And one of the nice things about not having a lot of people at a show, you can still do a show without a mic. It's really convenient. They were talking about how a bigger name comic, I won't say their name, walked off stage when this happened once before.
Wow.
But I'm like, well, yeah, they got a full house. And, for me, no problem. So I did the last half hour.
I'd walk off stage.
I really didn't know what to do.
I wouldn't be mad about it, but I'm like, I can't do a show with no one.
Well, you don't know if it's just the building.
That's right.
You don't know the situation at all, right? The whole club is out. It's not just the stage lights, right?
The whole club is out. Now the auxiliary lights came on. So now I can see the audience much better. I don't have the spotlights in my face. And I can see them. It made for a much better show.
Wow.
Because now everyone realizes I can see them. So they're much more attentive. They're all invested in the show. They're all kind of like, wow, something's happening here.
Yeah, it's an event now.
It's an event. And, I may start doing this all my shows.
I think if you got dirty and started having a real attitude, that would be a lot of fun. I'd like to see that. That's what I want. I want you to flip it up big time. Start wearing a bandana on stage.
So if I flew in some expletives with the watermelon material.
You couldn't even say expletives
Yeah, I know.
without struggling.
I know. That's correct.
Expletives.
Yeah. I'd love to do your joke with cuss words.
Yeah.
That's what
So if I show up and I cuss,
I was thinking a lot, is that a bad word?
expletives. Yeah.
That's we should do a secret show where we do all our same jokes with a lot of cuss words in it. No recording.
I would do that.
Yeah.
Same jokes, just a little angry.
Yeah.
Cursing a little bit. So how was it overall? Was it a good show?
Yeah, it was.
It's all right. We're riffing, dude.
Yeah, it was really fun, and the power came back on probably 5 minutes after I got off stage.
Really?
Yeah. So
did you find out what it was?
Yes, they said the power went off from the whole block. I don't know what caused it.
Wow.
They're trying to launch a spaceship down there.
Maybe.
Huntsville.
Yeah.
They use a lot of power in Huntsville.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. But it was, I felt good that I was accomplished.
Totally. To like recover through a situation like that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I texted you guys about it as soon as I got off stage. Neither of you replied. It meant a little bit more to me than it did you guys, I guess. But
what did you say?
Well, Aaron sent out some funny video and Nate immediately replied to it with a funny quip. And then I said, guys, I just had a show where power went out. I did the last half hour in the dark. Silence. Not one, nothing. I'm like, okay. So I just moved on. But anyway.
Well, we wanted to save it for the podcast.
Yeah. 3 weeks later.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then, so that was on a Sunday night. And then the following Sunday, I'm back in Huntsville with Nate, now in an arena. And when the host is on stage, right before I go up, power goes out. Well, I guess it was not power going out. It was a fire alarm, and the power comes on. All the lights in the arena come on. So 2 straight weeks in Huntsville, some power issues.
Breaker box Bates up in here.
People were calling me Blackout Bates.
Yeah, Blackout Bates.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah.
That's when you're drinking a lot. That's what you should do. I think you should start drinking more.
Yeah.
And do shows like that.
You should.
You're really
it'd be
bring
really
me down.
funny. Would really funny if you ruined your life.
I'm not breaking you down. I'm
Bring
saying,
me down.
I'll bring you down.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying
Bring down Bates.
get some eggs.
All the stuff that you did 20 years ago that
That's right.
You want
Now's
me to-
your time.
Yeah, go backwards.
Because you're doing, in your 20s, you did what Dusty's doing now.
Yeah.
Y'all just got backwards lives,
hmm
converse lives.
But you want me to go to what Dusty was
I want you
doing.
to ruin your life.
I was having a lot of fun back then.
You got to start smoking.
Yeah.
Let's do it all, man.
That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
You know, just you coming in here, packing a pack of cigarettes. You just can't wait to get out of here to fire it up.
Cowboy killers.
Yeah.
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 And Nate he's like, what happened to the podcast when I was gone?
Yeah, you got
We're
like
cussing, we got cigarettes.
You got some scruff going. You're just like, ashing on the table.
Yeah, that sounds great, honestly.
Yeah.
We'll save that for the Patreon.
I do want a podcast where I can smoke cigars on the podcast. That's what I'd like to do. People get mad when I stack the papers. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
Where were you, Aaron?
Last week I did stand up at my 10-year college reunion in South Bend, Indiana.
Wow.
It was good. It was fun to be at the reunion. Got to see some old friends.
How much time did you do?
I did. Well, they had me scheduled for 45.
Ooh.
I ended up doing about 40, and it was time to get out of there. But everyone there was great.
Leave them wanting more.
Nobody wanted more.
That's what you want to do.
That sounds so tough.
It was an impossible situation. I was saying it's like I made a list of everything that I think would make a bad show, and they found it, and they were like, all right, let's do all of this. That's what it felt like.
I think number one on that list is being in front of everyone that you know.
Well, that's
my first question.
That's what's interesting. You know? I knew maybe 15, 20 people. A lot of people you kind of recognize, you remember them.
How many people were there?
About 600.
I guess college is different than high school.
Yeah.
High school would be much different.
Yeah.
A few hundred. Yeah, like a little under 600, I think, were there. But the crowd was actually great. It was just technically the setup was a disaster, dude. It was in the old hockey arena. So it's already in an arena. And they have it walled off halfway with a mosquito net. And I show up for sound check, and they got a little stage with a podium. And the only speakers, there's no monitors. The speakers are hanging. They're 30 feet from the ground hanging. And I did a sound check, and it just sounds, you can't even tell what I'm saying. It's so bad, dude. So I told the sound guy, I was like, we got a lot of work to do, dude. And he goes, I didn't even know this was a stand-up show till right now. So I was like, oh, okay, we're a little like, we're all being thrown into this kind of last second.
Yeah.
But I just made some jokes about it up top. And then I basically yelled off mic in a half an arena for 40 minutes.
Wow.
Till my voice was gone. And then we got out of there.
And you were like, 10 years later, this is what I'm up to.
I made a bunch of jokes like, look at they're all doctors. I'm up there going, this is it. This is a dream.
This is what Notre Dame gets you.
They were great, though. It's fun to be on campus. But then I was in Phoenix, Arizona this weekend. Wanted to hike out there. Got there. They go, it's too hot to hike. It's illegal to hike right now. There was an advisory to
the government.
You can't be outside. I don't know if it was a law, but everywhere it was like heat advisory, stay inside, right? 110 degrees.
Just take your shirt off. Get out
everywhere.
There.
I did have my shirt off for most of the weekend. I had an Airbnb with a pool out there. I was in that pool a lot. Here's how hot it was, dude. I left my wallet in the car on the dashboard overnight. I get out the next day, open my wallet. Everything in my wallet's melted. All the plastic credit cards. I tried to pull my credit card out. It was like an airhead.
Oh,
it was like completely misshapen. And
first off, I'd just like to say, are you just the most trustworthy person on the planet? It's like you're like are trusting. You're like, I'll just leave my wallet on the dash all night.
I locked the car. We were in a nice neighborhood, and I forgot that it was out there.
Yeah.
So this wasn't intentional.
You've done that before, though. When we've been in a green room together, you'll just leave your wallet on the table, and I'm like,
well, the green room should be a place of safety.
It should be, but I'm like.
Dusty's the only one in there. He's like, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Dusty brings his suitcase on stage with him.
Chain to his arm.
Trust anybody out here.
He's got nuclear codes.
But Desert Ridge Improv is an awesome
it is
club.
Awesome. I've been there. Yeah.
Did 4 shows. One of them sold out. It was great, dude. The crowds
is really fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody asked me about you, Brian. They said they've seen everybody except you because you haven't done something in Phoenix. So
they've seen the and.
They want you out there. I got told that a lot this weekend. They go, we just need to see Brian.
People always think it's my decision where I go. The Desert Ridge Improv is the one that needs to want to see me there. It's not me.
Yeah.
So I hope I can.
Yeah.
Back to your credit cards.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw Plane, Trains, and Automobiles, but there's a scene where their car catches on fire and his wallet is in the glove compartment. And he has to pull out all his plastic, and it's half burned up. It sounds like
Yeah, I mean,
something kinda similar.
it was bizarre. And then I told somebody that, and they go, "Oh yeah, that happens. What you got to do, put it back in your car with a book on top of it, and let it melt back to reshape
what?
all the cards." So I didn't do that. So now my credit cards just look all wavy, and
They still
Yeah.
work?
they still work. The chip part still works.
I
yeah.
would think you would just go in and put it in the refrigerator.
but it's all misshapen, so it's just gonna. I want it to be flat again.
Do you have any of those cards on you?
Yeah, they're downstairs, not on me.
I should have brought that up.
Yeah, I don't want to wave my credit card around.
Nah,
on,
that's true. That's a
on
good point.
camera.
That is a good point. That is a good point.
Anyway, so
Be a
great
good time to
weekend.
use delete me. I
That
don't know
would
if
have been
this- that's a good. That would be a good.
That would have been an
segue. I don't think-
unbelievable
I don't think we're
segue.
Maybe a
Oh.
good time to use Chime.
Let me tell you about Chime. I am so excited. It's summer again, but summer can get expensive with all your planning. So when you have financial goals, you need to figure out what is worth saving more, what is worth saving for. We're trying to have some fun, Lucy and I, before the baby arrives. Got a baby moon. Have you heard of that? Thinking about doing that. Chime is a financial institution with a sense of community. You can get, it's like a honeymoon, but you do it before the baby comes.
Oh.
Okay,
Idea being you'll never get to do anything fun again. So do one before the kid comes.
that's true.
Chime is a financial institution with a sense of community.
It's not. True.
You get boosts. It is true. Chime is a,
Chime is true. I mean, the
Yeah.
honeymoon thing. You will get to do fun
Right,
things again.
but we're talking about.
I'm sorry.
Chime
I'm
right
sorry.
now. Chime is a
I'm out of control today, and
You
I.
really are.
Chime is a financial institution, whether you believe it or not, with a sense of community. You get boosts from friends with Chime, which give you temporary increase overdraft limits. Join millions of Chime members who are working on financial progress. Chime helps you make progress with fee-free overdraft up to $200. No monthly fees or maintenance fees, and over 60,000 free ATMs. To date, Chime has spotted members over $20 billion. Friends give friends a boost. Eligible members get complimentary boosts to temporarily increase a friend's Spot Me limit. Look it up. Look at these details yourself. It's a good deal. Live it up this summer and make progress towards your financial goals with Chime. Open your account in minutes at chime.com/Nate. That's chime.com/Nate. Chime feels like progress. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank NA or Stride Bank NA. Members FDIC. Spot Me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Terms and conditions apply. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details.
Dang, that's impressive.
It is impressive.
Woo!
You're a good. You're a good reader. You're
Yeah.
a good reader.
Thanks, dude. I don't know what I said, but I can read it. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. My comprehension's through the roof. I love Chime.
I bet it is.
Yep.
Chime is great, and I apologize that I can't because what happened was you said it's a honeymoon because you'll never have fun again after the baby, and I go that's true,
Right.
and then I laughed a little bit, and I go that's not true.
Right after I said Chime is a good company.
Yeah,
and
it
you go,
was.
That's not true.
I wasn't referring to Chime.
That's
Chime
okay.
is a good country.
That's what we call
company.
classic misunderstanding.
Yeah.
That's it.
I was just trying to make like a baby joke, but
Sure.
there's plenty of fun times.
Oh,
on the way.
I'm aware. I
Plenty of fun
hope
times.
my sarcasm was obvious
It was.
when I said it. Okay.
All right,
We're
we're getting
excited.
these comments.
Baby's the size of a coconut today.
Oh yeah.
Got a little app that tells you what fruit it is.
Oh, okay.
Coconut a fruit?
Yeah. I
Is it
think so.
organic?
When does it get to?
'Cause that matters.
Seedless. Yeah, man.
Dusty be looking at the app like, I wouldn't do that if I was you.
Mm-hmm.
I want.
Tell that baby to keep moving.
I want to do a dirty show, and I want you to write down the watermelon joke for me, and I'd like to do it.
Sure.
Just the dirty watermelon joke.
And you would switch it to pro watermelon, or are you going to be?
Oh, I'll be anti watermelon for the
Okay.
joke.
But
Okay.
you're just going to throw in some expletives.
Yeah, I got a couple of dirty jokes that I did in the past. I'd like to record them, but I would never be able to share them. But
Mm-hmm.
The difference between you and me, though, Dusty, is I'm being clean because that's me.
yeah,
And
Well,
you're doing
and-
that just to make money.
no.
I mean, as soon as this podcast stops recording, we're going to hear it.
No, it's me too. It is me too. But
It is. Yeah.
But I got some stuff shaking around in the head that I like to get out.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I get fired up sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you ever cursed on stage, Brian?
Yeah, but it was just for effect to like kind of what Dusty's saying, like maybe like a one-off. I said something just to make the back of the room laugh or something.
That's cool.
I was making some jokes at Zany's about some children's. I did it at New Material Monday about children's books, about a particular word they seem to use a lot in the old school children's books. I obviously won't say, but it's harmless in the old school, but like language has changed, and now the word, kind of has a different thing going on with it. And I just think it's funny how often it's said. And so I was making the jokes at Zany's during New Material Monday, but I was saying the word, and I think the staff was really like, "Whoa, what's going on up there?"
Well, were the people laughing?
Yeah, it was a great joke.
Yeah,
just the staff wasn't on board.
Well, no, they were on board, but they were like taken back by it.
Yeah.
I think they were into it.
What's your hat there?
it's Kansas City Monarchs.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Cool.
It looks like the hat from the Major League, where the guy starts to get real frustrated with the team and he turns it inside out and starts writing things on the hat.
It does look like an inside out
Yeah.
hat. It looks like a rally cap.
Yeah.
Kansas City Monarchs is the famous Negro League team.
And recently they added all the stats to Major League Baseball. And Aaron, you were telling me how you hated that.
That's not true.
So go ahead, tell us about that. How they were an inferior league, I think you were saying.
Well, 7 different leagues. It wasn't just one league. It was
You said they were all inferior.
Brian, this stuff has to stay off the podcast. Okay. That's not true.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the comments.
Let's do it.
All right, these comments come from Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcast reviews, Nateland at natebargatze.com, and Brian's personal cell phone number.
Which we will include in the episode description below.
Here we go. Amy Holly. I was just in the hospital for an outpatient procedure and was thinking about the podcast so I could get through it. I kept thinking we're having a good time, and I would smile because I really wasn't, but I could see Dusty say it, and it made it all better. You guys are hilarious. I'm so glad I found not only the podcast, but you guys in general. Please keep it up. Wow, what a nice
That's
note
amazing.
by Amy.
That means there's a mean comment coming up.
Yeah,
I know how
must
Brian
be.
does this.
Yeah.
But that's a part of the philosophy of we're having a good time, right? You just
It
lie
is.
to yourself.
Yep.
Well, when I was first starting to do it, it would be like during bad shows, and I'd go, "We're having a good time," and so it would start to make the show better.
Even if you're saying it sarcastically, you're tricking your brain.
Yes,
And then eventually you are having a good time, whether you want to or not.
and I'm telling the audience too, hey, you might not be laughing, but I don't care.
Don't forget, we're having a good
We're
time.
having a good time.
Even if it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
We are having a good time.
I blame the audience every time. Sometimes I tell them, I go, I don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? I don't travel the country telling mediocre jokes. Okay, get into it. These are good jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Novelli. You think that's it? Nick Novelli?
Yeah, I think
Nick
you nailed it.
Novelli, yeah.
It seems a lot like
Nick
Oh, Nick
Novicki.
Novicki, yeah.
I am continually impressed by Bonnaroo's knowledge of Marvel. Much love, guys. Do you know a lot about Marvel?
Well, I don't know a lot about the comic books, but I saw all the Avengers movies and all those. So last week we talked about Thor, and the central part of the body was the thorax, right?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody said Thor had a hammer, he didn't have an axe. And I was like, well, he had both actually.
Yeah.
Stormbreaker was the axe.
Yeah.
So-
Wow. Did you know that?
Well, I remember him having that in the movies, and he got it in Ragnarok, I think, right? Or he lost his hammer in Ragnarok, and then he got it later.
To try to kill Thanos.
Yeah.
Does it have any kind of special powers to it or anything?
Yeah. It was made by, I don't know, some planet. It was made by...
Oh, that's cool. Kind of like a wand. And we go to the next.
Well, that's a good point. He's pointing out how
they never really touch on this character, but there's a character named Beta Ray Bill, and he looks like Thor in the armor and everything, and he has the hammer, but he looks more like some kind of creature. And there's a cartoon called Planet Hulk, and that cartoon is, I think, where they based the movie Ragnarok on. And then in Planet Hulk, Beta Ray Bill fights Hulk in the arena. In Ragnarok, Thor fights Hulk. But in the cartoon, Hulk is about to kill Beta Ray Bill when they stop the fight. And then it's the opposite in Ragnarok. So they really ruined Hulk in the Marvel movies.
Okay.
They ruined Hulk. Hulk should have been the most powerful. They ruined Hulk.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I disagree with that a little bit.
It's so bad how they treated Hulk.
Now, he got stomped by Thanos.
He got stomped by Thanos. He got stomped by Thor. He got stomped by Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't see Iron. We're getting way deep.
No, I'd love it. Keep going, guys.
Iron Man created a suit called Hulkbuster.
Right.
Its whole purpose was to just defeat Hulk.
Right, but it shows that Iron Man is smart enough to be able to beat Hulk. I think the Hulk suit should have been designed to beat Hulk, but couldn't do it.
And it was a knockdown, drag out fight. It wasn't like it was a quick fight.
But in the end, Iron Man wins.
And then the Thor, I guess that's true. He punched him in the face.
He was about to, about to kill him, and then, or about to beat him in the ring, whatever he was about to do.
Oh, you're talking about Thor and
Ragnarok
and Hulk?
Yeah.
Again, I feel like they kind of fall to a draw, and then I guess he was about to bring some lightning on him. And
I thought a better ending to it all would have been to have the Hulk, instead of morphing into this Hulk with intelligence, and he should have come back at more powerful and beat Thanos.
I would have liked to seen a rematch.
Yeah.
Oh, there still might be one at some point, right?
I don't think so.
Why not?
I think they killed Thanos. He's dead now.
I mean, they could always bring him back somehow.
Yeah.
They killed him twice in those.
Yeah, I just think, I don't know. That would have been a better ending. I dedicate 10 years of my life to these movies, and this is how they end it for me. Okay.
All right. Sorry about that.
Chris Roberts. Dusty's joke about sliding over a tree root is the funniest joke I've ever heard. Thank you, Chris.
Wow.
It makes me literally laugh out loud every single time. I don't usually laugh out loud. I chuckle. Do y'all ever have that problem at your shows where the audience quietly chuckles but doesn't laugh out loud?
Yes.
Do you... Do you need to use a laugh track on your comedy specials? I do not. I don't have that problem. I've had a show before where I've had a couple of shows here and there where people are not really laughing loud, but I definitely don't need to use a laugh track on my comedy special. In fact, I went to a comedy special that was filmed one time. I won't say who. Nobody associated here years ago, before I even knew you guys. I went to a comedy special, and they did all these things where they would go, all right, guys, we need to get a couple of big laughs. Let's get a couple of big laughs from the audience. And then they recorded those laughs so they could use those at different times in the editing. And then they would go, all right, we need to get this sound or whatever. And then with my comedy special, we didn't do any of that.
So
we just filmed a show. And then we were like, look how good it was.
So I've been a part of a couple tapings, and I think there's a misunderstanding about that. What I was told is when they do that before a taping, they're getting the levels of the crowd for the mic. So they go, scream as loud as you can. They get the levels. They go, then we'll know like what a laugh is going to be at. That's why they do that.
Well, we didn't need to do that at mine, and it turned out very well. The sound was very good.
Okay.
Maybe yours are always on the same level.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe, but yeah, I mean, I'm just clarifying for Chris.
But I think when people say laugh track, they mean, they do go in and there's post-production. They go in and turn the crowd up,
Maybe.
No, not artificially to save jokes, but they do edit the audio of the special.
Well, yeah, you have to edit audio to
saying.
make it crisp and clean, but I don't think they're using a laugh track. But thank you for that compliment on that joke there, Chris.
Yeah.
Let's not forget the real point of this comment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Krista Robinson. You guys seem to be experts in flying and have a lot of missteps and foibles people make. I don't know what that means. Aaron?
Like shenanigans.
Have a lot of missteps and foibles people make.
And like faux pas.
Nah, not helping. I am looking for suggestions. I'm about to fly to South Korea with educators, not exactly seasoned travelers. It's about a 15-hour flight. Anything I should make sure I don't forget or make sure I don't do? I'm worried about being stuck for 15 hours and getting some sleep. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know nothing about a 15-hour flight or flying internationally, really.
You ever flown internationally?
I've flown to Canada, but...
Yeah, it's barely internationally,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Not until last year when we did the flight to South America. I don't think it was quite that long, but no, it's just like any other flight. Just be prepared to sit there for a long time.
Yeah.
You know,
And the neck pillow is useless unless you have
neck pillows is
It's a
what a scam that
it's
is.
such a scam.
It does nothing.
I have 4 of them because I'm sometimes at the airport going, I'd really like to get some sleep. I'm going to get one of these. It never works. I don't know
No.
why I keep being fooled by it.
Right.
Such a scam.
You know, Nate said when he flew to Australia, and I thought it was a good mindset, and kind of like what you just said about always expecting the worst. He said, you got to just set your mind to realize this is a really, really long trip.
Yes.
Don't be looking at your watch like, oh man, whatever. Just accept this is my day. This is my work day.
This is what I'm doing for the next 15 hours.
Yeah.
I'm sitting down, find a book to read or something.
And bring a lot of snacks. They say don't eat on a plane because it's not good for you, but I find it's good to pass the time.
Who says it's not good to
I've
eat
heard
on
that. It's like digestion wise, it's like
because of the altitude?
yeah, when you're up that high eating, you're not digesting well.
Really?
That's what I've been told. But it helps me pass the time to eat some snacks.
Yeah.
Organic snacks.
Yeah, I
It's
like
a good way to pass time down here too.
yeah.
Hope you know that.
and get up occasionally so you don't get blood clots.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
love to
You don't
get
get
up.
bed sores on a
Yeah.
flight. Yeah.
And download more podcast. And if you have YouTube, I have YouTube Premium. That way you can download videos. You get your whatever streaming platform you have, download a bunch of videos, movies, and more than you think you'll need. Just download tons of it.
Download Aura frames and then upload some photos for your family while you're on this
Yeah.
trip.
I love Oriflame.
That's not true.
I love Oriframes, as you know. And guess what? It's almost Father's Day. It's the same dilemma every year. What do you get for a man who has everything or says he doesn't want anything? Don't get him the same tie or slippers. Get him something he will actually love. That's where Aura Frames comes in to save the day.
Yep.
I really love using Aura Frames. I just upload the photos from my mom and dad to be able to see it. I'm going to be honest, I read these things kind of sarcastically, but I have given an Aura Frame to both my mom and my dad.
Mhm.
They really do like it. My dad loves pictures, and it's a great way. My parents don't ever come to visit, so it's a great way for them to see their grandkids and know what they look like and what they're up to. You can even upload little videos. It's really great. It's really easy to do. You can do it like I have an app on my phone. I can take pictures of my kids, immediately load it into the frame,
It's awesome.
and it goes right. And then I don't even tell my parents I do it. So they just have this frame sitting up in the living room.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, here's a new picture of their granddaughter. And they go, who is that? And then, and they go, do I have a grandson? I forgot. I haven't seen him in so long. How old is he now? 14? Yeah. And, but they can see him grow up this way, and it's,
Well, that sounds like you got some other things going on, but that's not Aura Frames' problem.
No, it's not. But it's so easy to set up. I set it up for my dad and stepmom, but then when he was like, I'm going to go home and I'm going to have to hook it to my own Wi-Fi and I'm going to need your help, so I'll call you.
Mm-hmm.
He got home, did not need my help, was able to hook it right up.
Mhm.
And for my dad to be able to do that is pretty miraculous. So it's a great frame, and it looks good. The screen is smudge free, which is a big deal. And right now, Aura has a great deal for Father's Day. Listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $30 off on their best-selling frame. That's AURA frames.com. This deal ends June 18th, so don't wait. Use code NATE at checkout to save. Terms and conditions apply.
Boom.
Wow.
Was that good, you think?
That's okay.
Is a good ad read?
Yeah, I think it was great for you. Yeah, it was
Oh,
good.
It was
meaning-
objectively good.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good for Aaron.
I
Great
want
for
you to know that.
Yeah.
Nate Whiskers McMallman.
That sounds fake, doesn't it?
Kinda
Nate
does.
Whiskers McMullen. This guy played baseball in the 20s.
He played in the old Negro League, which Aaron does not support.
That's I'd like to kill this bit
Right
before
now.
it goes any further. Yeah.
I moved to Atlanta not long ago and was excited when I saw Dusty was coming to town on my birthday. The only problem was that my wife was due with our new baby on the same day. The baby did not come, and we went to the show. She laughed so hard it sent her into labor, and we had our daughter the next day.
Whoa.
All right. I like Nate Whiskers McMullen. And I like that you came to the show with the baby and you shook it right out of there. I love that.
It's
Is that the medical
Beautiful
term?
way to put it.
Yeah.
And if you're looking to delay birth for a while, come to one of me or Brian's shows.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That baby will be like, that's what's going on out there?
Baby goes, nah,
I'm good here,
I'm
thanks.
chilling here for a bit.
Hunter Wyatt, we need to put up a privacy fence in our backyard. We only need to put up the back wall as we share fences with our neighbors on the sides. Our neighbor on one side is showing us the nice side, while the other is showing us the ugly side. So which side do we show ourselves? No matter what, we'll have one side not matching. Well, it's coming from some experience here. If you have an HOA, you might want to read that to see what it says, because you may have to face the quote unquote ugly side your way.
Yeah.
Now, my sister has a philosophy that she likes to face the nice side towards the neighbor, because the ugly side has 2x4s in it that you can crawl over. And she says, it provides a little more security to have the nice side facing out.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
Like if you're running from someone, you need to.
yeah, or like
quick.
somebody's trying to get into your yard. Makes it a little harder.
There you go.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't make it easy for them to crawl over on
Yeah.
your side. Okay.
Or just make both sides nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a. I have
I'm
the.
kidding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have the ugly side when I put up my fence facing my yard, and to be honest with you, I don't think it's ugly.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it that way. I wasn't going to do it that way until I got called out by my neighbor, and then I had to cuss him out, and the 70-year-old man out there. But
Like I said, he only does clean comedy for the money.
I did cuss this man, and I did not mean to, but a lot went into it. We're friends, me and this guy,
Yeah.
and him and his wife. I mean, we're all friends.
You were.
But- No, we still are, but he made me mad that day.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to be mad every now and then.
Yeah.
It's okay to not be okay.
Somebody said something about me on this podcast or my own. It said, it sounds like he has anger issues. And it's like,
Oh, that couldn't have been us.
no,
I don't think it was.
a commenter.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, yeah, who doesn't have anger? Do you live in America? Who doesn't have anger issues out here? Do you have a job?
Yeah.
I mean, are you out and do you drive in traffic?
You get angry at the comment saying you have anger issues. You go, no, I get it. There's such a thing as righteous anger.
Yeah.
You know?
I get angry when if it's a mean comment about me, I think I just get my feelings hurt. But if it's about you guys or any other of my friends, I get angry because I'm like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Yeah.
I like a thing we have going on right now, where is if we see a bad comment about us in the Nateland comments, we all kind of go in on the guy.
Uh-huh.
And I love that. That we recently did that, and a guy, I think he blocked us and then made his account private.
Yeah. Real cowards move.
Yeah, it's like you come in all hot, and then you get a little heat.
This dude, it was a pretty innocuous comment. This guy just commented, boy, I wish this was as funny as they're acting like it is. And we kind of laid into the dude, right? And then he just made his account private.
Well, you said something to him, and then he goes, "Oh, you get butt hurt or something like
No, he
that."
said, "Oh, triggered." Oh, it's a
Triggered.
different guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and that guy said triggered. I was like, "Oh man." I
Well-
mean, it triggered me.
Well, it's
Yeah.
just so weak, though. It's like you come in and you insult someone,
Right.
and then when they comment back, "Oh, you're triggered now," it's like you're triggered.
No, I responded.
Yeah, I responded.
Is that what
yeah.
being triggered is? Just responding to something?
That's what people do, though. They call you triggered the moment you respond.
Yeah.
It's their way of being like, you're not supposed to respond to
And then
this.
Dusty said weak response.
Yeah.
Which is all you can say. at
It
that point.
is weak, though.
Yeah, it's super
like,
weak.
Don't come in trying to harass people, and then when when you get some heat back, you go, oh, you triggered.
At
now?
least have a little fun back.
Exactly.
Come up with a joke and get us back.
Exactly.
You know,
we're not trying to hunt you down.
No.
We just want to have a little fun in the comments.
Have a fun exchange.
Yeah.
I didn't know we had that going on because sometimes there'll be comments about me, and by the time I see them, Dusty's already replied and agreed with them.
No,
He's piled on me.
That's not true.
that's
There'll
not
at least
true.
be a like by Dusty.
Well, I might like it, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't pile on.
There's been a couple where you've agreed with them in the comments. It's just somebody
Well,
trying to be.
I'm going to need some examples.
It's just somebody
Yeah.
trying to be funny.
I'm going to need an example.
And one time I texted you, I was like, "Don't add fuel to the fire."
Oh yeah. I like to get in there. You know, a guy. I had a comment exchange with a guy. I had in my email inbox, I had flagged a couple of emails, and I was going through unflagging them. And this one was from like 2 years ago, so I was just unflagging them. But as I was doing it, I was looking at them to see what it was. And this was some comment, some insulting comment a guy left me. And this is what it was. I was reading water bottle ingredients. And the guy's like, he goes, I hate when comics do fake premises like this. He goes, it's like they're lying to your face. And apparently I had said something to him 2 years ago because there was a response from him. So I guess I deleted my response.
Yeah.
So I went and I commented back though on it. And I go, have you since then, have you found water with ingredients on it? And he was like, oh, I see here you deleted your rude comment to me. And I go, well, I don't remember what the rude comment was, but I'm just wondering, have you found water with ingredients on it? And then he goes into how I was real rude to him. And I'm like, well, maybe it started by you calling me a liar, basically. Maybe that's where the rudeness began. And then he never responded.
What a ridiculous thing to have launched all of this about water bottle ingredients.
Right. It's like,
Yeah.
clearly some water has ingredients on it. It's like,
Yeah.
I didn't make it up.
Mm-hmm.
Dasani, definitely.
Yeah. Dasani, I think Smart Water.
They all have stuff on there.
yeah. Aquafina's pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty clear.
Okay.
So, Sam Koski. I don't understand.
I think
I
we skipped
skipped Reed Jones. Reed Jones.
Sorry, Sam. We'll get back to you.
What's your opinion on comedian catchphrases? Well, it seems like a relic of the past with
Amen.
classics like "I don't get no respect." I don't know if that's the I don't think he says "I don't get no respect."
I don't get no respect.
yeah,
That's what.
get her done, and somebody stop me. But somehow Dusty has pulled it off without being too hokey.
Not too hokey.
Yeah. Also, Dusty, do you remember the first time you realized we're having a good time would become a regular joke for you? Yeah, first time I did it.
What is this? Just like compliment Dusty Day
Yeah.
on the podcast?
Yeah, it's a hot day. It's a hot day. Yeah, I mean, I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think it's a relic of the past. I think people are not
Mhm.
being clever enough to come up with them anymore.
Hamburger Jones was just at Zany's this
Yeah.
past weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's opening for
Adele Givens?
Yeah, Del Givens.
Yeah, get her done. I mean, you can call it hokey if you want, but that guy's made millions of dollars off
Yeah,
that.
he got her did.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what somebody stopped me is. Who's that?
I don't know.
And then no respect.
That's Aaron.
I say.
Oh, that was your podcast.
Yeah. Ooh, somebody stopped me.
I liked your podcast.
Yeah, thanks,
too.
man. Thanks, man.
I did enjoy that. I was
Yeah.
sad that you didn't do that more.
Yeah.
I wanted the Brad Sativa episode to be better, but when you and him were doing the interview, Brad seemed like he was holding the microphone on the floor. I was like, where's the microphone at? Like, Brad does comedy, but it seemed like he was doing like this the whole time. I'm like, come on. I was like,
It's tough, man. We're figuring some stuff out.
yeah. But that was good. I like those. But yeah, I don't know. I just kept doing we're having a good time, and then
Mhm.
eventually it just kind of became a thing for me. But I think a catchphrase is good. I think
Do you seriously though? Do you remember when you're like, oh man, I think this can kind of be my thing?
well, when I did Jimmy Kimmel, which came out in early 2018, I did it at the end of 2017. I remember telling my friend that I said, I want to come out right away and just go, we're having a good time. And then I remember us laughing about it, being like, oh, that'd be ridiculous. But I was like, I want to do it. I'd like to do that.
Mhm.
So in between that time and me being on the Tonight Show 6 months later is when it became became my catchphrase. Because I did it once on Jimmy Kimmel, but it wasn't like I'm doing it now. But I before then, I was like really starting to lean into the "we're having a good time" thing, and I liked it. But in that 6 months is when I made it my thing.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
cool.
early 2018. Sam Koski. I don't understand the hype around Shawshank. It's a really good movie, but number one, question mark. Oh,
But
I see. I thought he was going to give us a list. Oh, yeah. But number one,
There you go.
people seem ready to defend it all the time, but aren't ever actually able to give a good reason why it's better than others. It didn't bring anything new to the cinematic table that hadn't been done before. Don't want to spoil it for Nate, but the ridiculousness of the whole plot brings it down a few notches for me. Maybe a top 30 movie. I'll let you guys go.
That's fine if you think it's a top 30 movie. I don't know. What do you mean the ridiculousness of the whole plot? What's ridiculous?
I don't think it's number one, for the record.
That's fair.
I love the movie.
But do you think the plot's ridiculous?
Not at all.
Yeah. I would like to hear more what Sam thinks is ridiculous about the plot.
It's my favorite movie. If I were to play devil's advocate, which I love to do,
yeah.
And they show it, him dumping the stuff out in the yard. It's, the gravel, the wall,
Right.
things like that.
If you haven't listened, like Nate, spoiler alert for the next 90 seconds.
You don't. To be honest with you, though, if you've not watched it, you don't deserve a spoiler alert. I mean, it's a pretty old movie.
I agree. But
30
Nate
years
hasn't
old.
seen it. Yeah.
Well, Nate's not going to listen to this.
That's for sure. I know that. I just think there might be other people that
Yeah. Well, anyway,
are holding out.
if I were, maybe that he did that, dug out that whole tunnel and no one ever saw any extra wall out in the yard.
Wow.
I mean,
So the mechanics of the escape is what
I could see the point there. If I had to
I'm
take
being nitpicky.
If I had to take
I
one
get
thing
it.
and be nitpicky, yeah, that would be it. But I think the whole thing that makes it great, he says, never actually able to give a good reason why it's better than others. I mean, I think the whole thing of him being befriending the warden in a sense and like outsmarting everyone
Mm-hmm.
is what makes it really special. It's like he's really been dealt a hand. I mean, he did commit the crime and he is in jail for it, but
Well, he didn't commit the crime.
did he not?
No, he was innocent.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen it.
Oh, so
A murderer's on the loose.
Oh, okay. See, it didn't bother me
Should
if
be
he got
part
out.
2.
That part
Yeah.
doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Guilty or innocent. I mean, it's like if he's smart enough to get out.
yeah, he was innocent.
Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. Well,
And Morgan Freeman's character admits
Yeah, man, that's who you're thinking
he
about.
committed murder when he was a young man.
yeah.
Now he's an older man.
I was thinking it was a crime of passion.
Well, that's what the
That's what they want you to think.
prosecutor
Yeah.
says in court at the
Okay.
beginning.
Mhm.
Jeez.
Crime of passion could be at
Well-
least understood, if not condoned.
Well, if anything, that strengthens the argument that I'm making for the movie.
Yeah.
To learn this information,
Yeah.
it now strengthens my
Yeah.
argument. Is that, he was innocent
Mhm.
and they were still had him in there and he outsmarted everyone to get out.
hmm
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's amazing. I mean, it's like, there's Escape from Alcatraz, but I think those
There are a
guys-
lot of similarities between those two movies.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I would like Sam right back in and go into detail of what is ridiculous about the plot. I'd love to hear more about this ridiculousness,
Yeah. I mean,
We're probably not going to read it again, but
No, send it to me. Send it to me directly.
yeah. I don't get Sam's
Yeah,
hopes
yeah.
up. Like, oh man, it's going to be a weekly thing.
Yeah.
now, I do like this comment though.
We'll do
I
episode
like-
205, Sam Koski. That's what it's called. It's just us going at him.
See, this is what I like though. I like when people, bring a little heat in the comments. And
But that's empty heat. There's no. Did you edit this at all, Brian? This
I don't
comment?
think so. No.
So you can't just go, the whole plot's ridiculous. The whole plot of this universally loved and acclaimed movie is ridiculous. A complaint I've never heard about
I'm
this
just
film.
saying I like that he made the comment.
I mean,
Oh,
he obviously,
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm into this.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
would like you to go into detail
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah.
if he says maybe top 30, he obviously thinks it's a really good movie.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. But you say nobody ever knows how to defend this movie, and then you give a completely empty claim, and I'm supposed to defend against that?
All hinging on you not wanting to spoil it for Nate. It's like, yeah, I get into some details.
Right.
buddy.
Right. Yeah, I'm happy to defend the movie if you present a specific case against it.
Yeah.
So that's my message to Sam. Sorry.
Erica Pearson. I wanted to check in with Breakfast about his squirrel issue. We have an issue with squirrels and cardinals. The squirrels chewed through the wires on my husband's truck, leaving him with no tail lights, and the cardinals were fighting with themselves every morning in the side mirrors of all our cars. Did I read that wrong?
No, I think you got it right.
Okay. I looked it up, and I guess we are going to have to start covering our mirrors with towels every night now.
Well, thankfully,
They were seeing their reflection.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, they're fighting in the mirrors? Okay.
Yeah. I thankfully have not had any cardinal issues. Thankfully, I haven't had any squirrel issues in some time now. The cicadas probably really helped this summer. The squirrels had other things to focus on.
Oh, yeah.
But it's been a while, thankfully. I've had no new squirrel issues, and hopefully that stays the case. I mean, I didn't do a lot. I did move my car down the street. Now, I did park in a different spot in our yard.
Leave your car running all night.
With my wallet on the dash.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad's first car, if you turned it off, it couldn't turn back on. So he had to leave it running 24/7.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Are you serious?
Sounds like he needed to visit the mechanic.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
What was the problem?
I don't know the details. He just told me that his first car, people used to always come knock on the door and go, "You left your car running." He would go, "I know, I have to, or else it won't start again."
Oh, this is long before you.
This is like his first car out of
Okay.
college, I think.
Yeah,
a lot of
did you
gas.
think Aaron's dad got a car for the first time?
Well, I guess I wasn't listening close. I'm thinking about like the family car when you were a kid.
I mean, he was a principal.
No, that car was a piece, though, dude. We had a 1991 Toyota Previa, white minivan with one sliding door. Remember those?
Yeah.
Just on one side.
Yeah.
And we were at the ballpark one day, and that sliding door just slid right off the car into the parking lot. Huge scene. We had a bungee cord. It was all four of us in the car, had to hold the door to drive home. We had bungee corded. That car stunk, dude. We kind of loved it, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Jacob Manning. Obviously, you guys have to gain new material for your stand-up acts from the podcast. I don't think so. How do you determine who uses what? If there's a crazy funny topic on the podcast, do you guys discuss who can use that material on stage? I've been a cop for 20 years, and I listen to you guys for most of my 12-hour shifts, and it never disappoints. Keep on doing your thing, guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jacob.
I don't think I've ever gotten a joke from the podcast. People think that I got some jokes from here one time. They've commented, but I never have, I don't think. Maybe you guys have, but
I have a couple things I do in my act now that as they happened, I told them on the podcast, but it's not like, I don't know. It's not like we did a Nebraska episode and then I'm like, oh, I got a good Nebraska chunk out of that, you know.
I got a couple stories now that I want to share with you guys on the podcast, but I'm still trying to work them out as jokes.
Yeah.
I want to develop them first before I just throw them out, and then everyone either destroys my premise or
like the plant joke. That'll happen. You know?
What's the plant joke?
That plant joke that I tried to pitch
Oh,
on
yeah,
here and
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
said how terrible it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
or like the shingles joke, all the shingles ladies.
Well, that one, that's different because you brought that one back for me.
Yeah,
You revised
you've been
it.
doing it.
No,
Oh,
but
okay. But to answer this guy's question in a different way, I think sometimes when you're hanging out with a group of people, group of comics, and something happens,
like
and
the fish sleep.
yeah, I mean that was a
It's a good
shared
example,
example. Me and Aaron were in the aquarium together, and we actually, have both done the joke.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you just talk about it. You go, hey, what's going on with that joke?
Yeah, we had a conversation. Dusty goes, "You still doing that joke?" I go, "No, it's all yours." And then he, did it on Tonight Show.
Yeah.
So he turned it into something good.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes a joke may work for me and not for somebody else, and then the other way around, it's like that too. And it's like, so yeah, when that does happen, you just talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like hopefully like I had a buddy. We're still friends, so I don't know if he listens or not. I don't want to offend him, but he was like, he had a couple of jokes that I really liked, and then he told me one day that he kind of announced he was retiring from comedy, and so I reached out to him and I go, "Hey, can I have these 2 jokes?" And then the next thing you know, he's back doing comedy. And I'm like,
and he wanted "We're Having a Good Time" back.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't though. It wasn't jokes that I'm doing, but it's a couple of jokes he has that I really like.
And that was the confidence boost he needed to get back
I know.
in.
I think so. He is very funny. There's no reason for him to quit doing comedy. But he just was like, I'm going to quit doing stand up. And then I was like, well, you got a couple of jokes that I like. So if you're hanging it up, let me have them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I could just take them.
But you won't.
But I don't do it.
Yeah. You have integrity.
Yeah.
You know, the me pouring syrup in the waffle maker, Nate did that joke. And I think I tried it a time or two when it happened, and I could not make it work. Nate's such a good storyteller. I think maybe now if it happened to me, I'm a better comic. I can make it work. But then I couldn't get last with it. And Nate's such a good storyteller. You know, I told him, do it.
Well, he also framed it in this larger context about different generations and stuff, where if you were just telling it, this happened to me, you couldn't do that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He's just so good at that. And pretty quickly, I knew he was going to have more success with it than I would.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I know this guy. Last comment. Chase Schubert. Our 5-month-old son wakes us up throughout the nights about every 2 hours. As much as I wish I could say I was always willing to get out of bed to feed him a bottle and rock him to sleep, unfortunately, that's not always the case. However, around 4 a.m. on Wednesday mornings, he will wake us up per usual, and I will eagerly get out of bed to feed him and drive him around our neighborhood for 2 hours while he sleeps in the car so I can listen to Nateland uninterrupted to start my day.
Whoa.
Thank you, fellas, for making me a hero every Wednesday morning, and buckle up, Aaron. Well, I think that's great. I get that. But also it's like, that's what I like about, I joke around about being dirty and this and that, but it's like, that's what I like about this podcast. There are some podcasts that me and my wife used to really like to listen to. And then when we started riding around with our kids in the car, listening to the podcast, we were like, oh no, like we realized how desensitized we were to everything. But now that our kids were in the car, we were like, we can't keep listening to this. So I like that we have this podcast this way.
Yeah.
Chase is a very nice guy.
Aaron, you want to tell us about Delete Me?
How would you like to wake up and discover your bank account has been emptied, or get overdue notices for credit cards you've never applied for, or worse, you don't realize how much your information is available to scammers on the internet, how susceptible you and your family are to identity theft and fraud. But now you can get your data removed with Delete Me. Nate and Laura have been using Delete Me for years, and now I do too. They send out monthly reports. You'll be surprised what they will remove from the internet. It's a subscription service. It's not a one-time thing. They will continually send you updates, crawl through the internet, and get your personal information out of there. Take control of your data, and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now at a special discount for our listeners. Today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/Nate and use promo code Nate at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/Nate and enter code Nate at checkout. JOINDELETEME.com/Nate.
Boom.
You're good.
You're the best. You're the best ad reader by far on the podcast.
Thanks,
but
dude.
one of the best that I've actually ever even heard read ads.
Thanks, man.
I love that
Thanks.
you're still yelling the data thing.
Yeah,
because
people hate it.
I love that. I love it. I love how you went back a little extra far with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to escalate every time.
Yeah.
A year from now, it's going to be a mess.
Yeah.
You know?
I wish there were a third way to pronounce it.
Dada.
Dada.
Yeah. Try it all ways.
Data. Dada. Something like that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do it. Try it different languages.
We'll edit all this out for the podcast. But yeah.
Well, I did put in Chase's comment at the end because this week we're talking about fathers because, this Sunday's Father's Day.
It is. Happy Father's Day to the two of you. and to all the fathers listening, and to all the fathers before us.
Now, will
some of them. I don't know. I mean,
Happy Father's Day to all the good dads.
all the good dads. Yeah.
There you go.
this will be your last Father's Day not to be a father.
That's right.
But some people celebrate even when they're pregnant.
Oh, okay.
So you could.
I wouldn't do that.
Well, you wouldn't celebrate it either way.
I don't really. I'm not into it, but
You wouldn't accept a gift for Father's
No,
Day?
I will, and I always call my dad, but
Yeah.
I think it's a kind of a worthless holiday.
Well,
but
that's celebrating it. What else do you want?
I know, but this whole
I don't celebrate, but I call my dad and I accept a gift.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That's
well,
all it is.
I not but I do think that it's like this whole all of these commercially driven holidays are so we go and buy things for people.
I agree. There was a TikTok that went viral of this woman going, I'm Christian, so I don't celebrate Halloween, but we do like to dress up and have a little fun. And you go, well, that's what you go, that's all we're doing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Anyway.
Well, anyway, this Sunday's Father's Day, so I thought it'd be a good time to talk about fathers,
All right.
the good, the bad, the ugly.
Okay. The ugly.
Well, I just got kind of rolling there.
Does that make a reference to each one of us?
Yeah,
Is one of
yeah.
us good? One
We
of us
can
bad?
decide.
One's
which is
good,
which?
one's bad, one's ugly. We'll
Well,
see.
I guess last week you guys called
Nick Thune?
Nick Thune a handsome Dusty. That's what I heard.
No,
Well,
but
one
if
of us
Nate
did.
says that, I'm not going to,
I was like, he's not really that better looking than me.
Okay.
I wouldn't say he's better looking than me at all.
You think that?
I'd say you're better looking.
I would say so too.
Okay. So if somebody comments on your appearance, you want us to defend you?
Nah.
Okay. No, he's actually like,
I mean,
if you look at him up close, he looks good. What do you want me to say?
I mean, Dusty's hot.
Yeah.
He's a good looking man.
Whenever somebody's in your absence, you go, he's the fill in the blank
Well,
version of Dusty.
I don't watch the podcast, but I do sometimes go in and read the comments.
Okay.
Especially when I'm not here. I like to see what people say.
You like to see people going, I miss Dusty.
I like to see if people are like, oh, it's better with, why don't you try to get this Nick Mullen guy in here all the time?
Nick Mullen, Nick Thune.
Nick Thune, yeah. And, so it came.
Nick Nolte character.
I know Nick Thune. He's very nice.
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
like
he's
him.
great.
I like him a lot.
He's great.
And I mean, no offense, but you don't know as much about fashion.
Well, you don't know. I mean, you know what I was going to do if I were able to come to that. I meant to bring it this week just to show you.
Yeah.
But my senior year in high school, I got voted one of the most fashionable people in my senior class.
Oh, man.
How many were in your class and how many made the cut?
Well, it's two of us, me and my friend Costa. And,
Okay.
it was, it's probably 500 of us.
Oh, in your senior class?
Yeah, something like that.
How's a huge high school?
Maybe 200. I don't know.
Okay. All right. 500, 200.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people.
50.
It's a lot of people. Opelika has a lot of people.
What kind of stuff were you wearing in high school?
I got voted that because I was dressing pretty wild.
Okay.
It wasn't that I was like had
Bowling
all the-
shoes. Hawaiian
I had
shirts.
flame shoes. I had shoes that had flames on it. I wore a lot of skull t-shirts, and I would do a lot of mix and matching of things. I was wearing I had a corduroy jacket I used to wear.
That's
and I
pretty
was
cool.
Wearing a lot of gloves with the fingers cut off in it.
Oh
And,
my gosh, Dusty.
yeah, it was super. I was really cool.
Bleach blonde hair at
Yeah, I
one
had
point.
bleach blonde hair.
You were a maniac.
I was totally a maniac. I had a lot of problems, and they were all coming to a boil around senior year.
Well, now I wish we did have you here.
I know.
Yeah, it would have been fun.
I meant to bring the yearbook today.
That's all right.
I'll bring it next week when it's totally unrelated.
All right, yeah. We'll have moved on by then, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know how to get in this. What makes a good dad and a bad dad, do you think? Well, I think we know the bad dad, but
Well, I think it could be, more nuanced. And I don't know. I mean, who knows how I'll end up being. But I think...
what would you rank yourself right now?
I think I'm a good dad. I mean, I think I spend a little too much time on my phone.
Oh,
But other than that, I think I'm a good dad. And
You're stepping on my... I mean, I give myself a B- because I'm addicted to my phone and I should just be out there playing with my daughter, not thinking. I'm always looking at my phone. Just see.
Well, I'll defend both of y'all since you're too humble to defend yourselves. First of all, the fact that you're even aware or thinking about this means you're a great dad. Second of all, both of you have careers where you need to be on your phone at least a little bit. It's not like you're living, on a self-sustainable farm and not having to interact with the world, Dusty. You're managing
That's true.
a huge comedy career at the moment. Brian, you're doing the same thing. So both of you need to be on your phone. And I'd appreciate it if you get off your backs a little bit.
Well, thank you.
And
thank you.
Just to accept that the two of you are great fathers.
Wow.
Is that okay?
Wow,
That's a clip.
Okay.
Mark that at 114.
I will tell you that this week on Sunday when I landed, I deleted just off my homepage. I deleted my apps for the week just to kind of like. But of course, I've found back way to get back.
They take 2 seconds to download.
Yeah, but I did delete them just to try to like just do less time this week. Mm-hmm. I don't need to. It's like I do have a social media team to post for me, but it's still like I'm getting emails and I have things that I have to check and I have things that I have to do. So you are right. I do need to be on my phone, and the phone is designed to draw you in. So I get on there to do my business, but then I'm like, well, let's check this, and then let's check this, and then somebody comments something, and I go, well, I gotta get in there.
Right. Where's the kid?
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie Crazy Heart with Jeff Bridges?
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
it's a great movie, I think. But his addiction is alcohol, and he is at the mall or something with his girlfriend's son, and they stop off for a drink, and the kid, he looks away for a second, the kid's gone. that would be me, except I'm addicted to my phone.
Oh, yeah.
But we're in a business, not to get off topic, but our business is ourself. So it's hard not to, kind of like what you said, but also we can be very selfish and self-absorbed by the nature of our business when it is ourself.
I get that. Yeah, for sure.
And I notice it more with, do you agree?
Yeah.
I notice it just more with my child because I should be more focused on her, but I'm thinking about how many likes did this post get or just something ridiculous.
Well, what should you be the CEO of a soup kitchen? Like what's the, what I mean?
Well, that is
not every job is intrinsically good. What you two are doing is you have a job that, whatever job you do, it enables you to take care of your family and then,
like a parking
be
attendant.
charitable.
I had a security guard, an old man in Bismarck, old man security guard tell me that his second oldest son barely knew him growing up because he had to work such long hours at this job he had, and that his son was asleep when he left to go to work, and his son was asleep when he got home at night.
Wow.
And it's like, so I get to spend a lot of time at home, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah. Why didn't the kid just stay up a little later?
I don't know.
I'm kidding. Blame it on the kid. Well, the kid should have. Why was he asleep when he's home?
But it's like, I mean, I think positive reinforcement is big. I think creating a good like family vibe. That's what I try to do, where I'm like building up my kids. I don't want to make everything so easy for them all the time, but I want to build them up. I want to support the things that they do. I mean, I think my dad was a good dad, but I use things that I didn't like that my dad did to go, all right, I want to do it a different way. I'm sure my kid will grow up and be like, I didn't like my dad do this. I didn't like that my dad did this, but I'd like to minimize those as much as possible and build up and support my kid. If my kid is like, because I always felt like this. My dad was pretty athletic, and I think my dad wanted a more like athletic son, but I was more like an artsy guy. So I always felt like that my son is probably, I'm like, I want him to be into artsy things, and he's probably going to be very athletic. But so I'm like, so I want to support him in whatever it is that he wants to do.
Sure.
You let him play football?
I don't know. I probably try to talk him out of football just for the health risk, but I think I would let him play little league and stuff like that. I don't want him to.
Oh, yeah. 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 Any sports. I think you're specifically about football.
Yeah.
Right?
Just because of the injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it'd be worth, I mean, maybe by the time he's even old enough to do it, it doesn't exist in that way, but.
It will be radically different by the time your son's old enough. Yeah. I remember I was 6, I wanted to play, and my parents, even then, when was that? That was 26 years ago.
Yeah.
My parents were like, I don't know, it feels a little young. So they waited till I was 7.
Oh,
then I played full pad football, and then it was just a lifetime of injuries after then.
Yeah.
But
I think I'll try to get him into baseball or soccer, something like that. That's, still very athletic, but not so head injury oriented.
Yeah.
I'm going to read you a quote by Mark Twain that I like about his father. When I was a boy at 14, my father was so ignorant, I could hardly stand to have the old man around. But when I got to be 21, I was astonished at how much he had learned in 7 years.
Yeah.
It's funny how the older you get, the more you realize your parents know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a great quote.
I feel like
Mark Twain was good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
First
good.
ever stand-up comedian.
I feel like I was like, up until I was a teenager, my dad knew everything. And then my teenage years, he didn't know anything. And then in my 20s, I felt like I was like, oh, my dad was right about a lot of stuff.
Right.
And then in my 30s, I was back to thinking my dad was an idiot.
That's funny.
But now
Took a turn.
Now in my 40s though, I'm back. Like, I'm not always happy with the things my dad says, and I'm not always happy with the things my dad does. But I am smart enough to realize that my dad knows a lot, and he may not be the best teacher and the best at communicating what he knows, but he knows a lot of stuff.
Sure.
And he's usually right. Even when I'm dead set on that he's right. He's not always right, but when I'm dead set that he's wrong about something, I'm like,
But you respect his point of view,
yeah.
right? And,
Yes.
And you have the perspective now to go, even if he wasn't exactly right, he had lived more of a life than I had at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got into a huge fight not long ago, but I still have a lot of respect for my dad.
About a YouTube comedy left.
On the internet.
I get my fire from my dad. I mean, my dad is quick to fly off the handle, and I get, and we're both like that, especially with each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think television has changed the perception of dads?
Yeah, for sure. I made
Either good or bad?
I think in a bad way.
Oh.
And I got into a bit of a discussion with a friend of mine. She saw some clip I shared about how dads are being portrayed, and I think negatively. And she was saying that, I'm a feminist now. Welcome to being a feminist. And because she was saying that the TV shows were portraying how dads were. And so now you're seeing how men are. And that's where I disagreed with her. I'm like, no, I believe that men are being portrayed in this way, and that is pushing more men to be like that, rather than looking at these guys and going, this is how we're seeing guys be, so we're going to write a TV show about how these guys are. When I think it's more like we're going to write a loser character, and then I think it's influencing more people to be kind of like that. And I don't think they know that they're being losers, but you look at a Peter Griffin, a Homer Simpson, an Al Bundy, and they're like just kind of these, not Al Bundy, I guess, but they're just kind of like these alcoholic dudes that work all day and say mean things to their wives all the time.
That's true.
I don't think that's how most men are.
Right. Yeah. They're also not animated. Most men.
Right.
I'd say.
Yeah. The question is it a reflection of society, or are they trying to influence society?
See, I think they're trying to influence society. I mean, there could be an argument to be made for both. And I'm not saying I'm not a feminist in some way. I mean, I do support women, but I never.
Gosh,
in the
great
kitchen.
breaking news on
But
the
I never-
podcast today. ladies
I
and
know,
gentlemen.
but I would never give myself the feminist label. But
Sure.
a lot
I
of
wouldn't
them.
either.
But I'm like, yeah, of course. I was raised by women, and I got a daughter, I got a wife.
Yeah.
I'm a big supporter of women.
Right.
You love women.
Yeah,
Tom Papa has a very funny joke about how when he was a kid, everyone was scared to death of dad. Don't talk to dad. Don't, whatever.
Mhm.
Just don't even make eye contact. And now his kids are so unafraid of him. They'll come into his bedroom when he's still asleep and lift his eyelids to say, "Are you up?"
oh yeah,
It's very funny because that has changed. And Jim Gaffigan has a joke about his dad would never even take the time to turn around his chair to see what was going on behind him.
Really?
He'd just be like, "What's going on back there?"
That is that
Oh, yeah.
old school dads like that.
Yeah.
It's probably good that some of that's getting phased out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I've talked about, and I talked about it with family, and it's like, this all gets pretty dark, but it's like we would think about how, how we are. Like I would talk to my sister, and me and my sister have different dads, and we would talk about how we are with our kids versus how our dads were with us. And then you take it a step further, and what and not my dad. I don't really actually know anything about his dad. He died in 1966, but like just some dads we know, we go, well, they're like, like my sister's dad, and then how his dad actually treated him, and it's way worse. So it's like each generation, everybody's getting a little nicer and a little better. So I don't know what was going on back in the day, but these dads were not nice.
Right.
2 or 3 generations ago.
Sure.
For all I know about my granddad, he was, but he died in 1966. I have no idea.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just a different world.
Yeah.
I've seen you. You are a great dad.
Thank
Nate's a great dad,
Mhm.
very much, and I know you will be.
Thank you.
You have all the right qualities.
Mhm.
I assume maybe you're go crazy. I don't know.
You haven't seen me at home, Brian. I'm a maniac.
Well,
Yeah.
that's true.
I also have divorced parents, and I wonder sometimes how differently my life, would have been if my parents had just stayed married to each other.
Right.
Because when you have divorced parents, you get your parents say negative things about the other parent. Where I think if they're married, they should at least be just supporting each other. Like a lot of these country songs that I have on a list that I won't be able to play any of them, but if you listen to them, you'll hear that theme where the dad will be like, call your mom, but it's like, my parents, it was more like, don't call your mom, come over here. You know what I mean? So I would hear my mom say bad things about my dad and my dad say bad things about my mom, where it's like, that it does alter your perspective.
That's so interesting. In my house, the capital offense was to disrespect mom in any way.
Yeah.
That was the
Should
worst thing you could do.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and you would do that out of respect for your mom, but also out of fear of your dad.
Yeah.
That, oh man, if you rolled your eyes at my mom or something, that was it.
Yeah.
You were done for a while.
Yeah.
I get to a degree why in sitcoms the dad is often the doofus.
Yeah.
The dad is traditionally the most powerful person in the house, so it's you punch up.
Right. You're playing against the norm. And it would be great to have a sitcom where just the wife's just an idiot and then the husband's like a genius. And it's just
It'd be like I Love
God, I
Lucy.
got my dumb wife
Right.
over here. Is that what I Love Lucy was like?
Yeah, she was kind of the one that always get into hijinks.
Okay. But
It-
she wasn't like a moron in the show, was she?
No, but she would get into
It is a different feel if the show is the whole family making fun of mom.
yeah.
It is a different feel.
That's why when you see shows like 30 Rock, where Tina Fey is kind of the one, to me, that's an advancement for women when they can be the one that's the punchline, so to speak.
Mhm.
Like in Married with Children, it was like always like Al kind of making fun of the way Peggy looked.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, Peggy was hot. I mean, I'm like, what are we talking about here?
All right, I want to ask you about some of these movie dads, if they're good or bad. Is that cool?
Yeah,
Mhm.
of course.
Clark Griswold.
Bad dad.
Really? See, I would say good. He was trying to his family have memorable vacations.
I think it was all about him. It was always about him.
Okay, that's
I think he
interesting.
was very selfish.
I like both. I like both of these.
I love the movie.
Uh-huh.
It's especially Christmas Vacation, one of my favorite. But it's all about him the whole time. Everything's about him.
All right, that's an interesting point. Atticus Finch.
Yeah, he's a great.
I think he's a
dad.
great dad. Yeah, I don't
No,
know the movie.
He's a better lawyer than a dad.
He was at work all the time, working on this trial, just spending time with his kids.
Shut up, dude.
I don't know the movie that well. I haven't seen it in a long time.
That's
but,
true. Yeah, it started as a movie, right? Atticus Finch. I mean, it's like the most famous book of all time.
Yeah.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, but I watched the movie.
Yeah.
What movie?
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Okay, the one from like the 40s.
Yeah, it had
Gregory Peck?
Yeah,
I think it had
yeah, Gregory Peck.
Boo Radley was like a famous act, like Robert Duvall or something. He played
Mhm.
played him in that movie.
Yeah.
Very young.
Is that right?
I think so.
I don't know.
Somebody like that.
Let's look it
I
up.
thought Boo Radley was a girl.
No,
I could
Boo
be-
Radley is the crazy, the weird guy that lives on their street.
Yeah, I think it was Robert
Oh,
Duvall.
Scout.
Robert Duvall.
Scout's
Yeah.
the girl.
How about that? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's not looking good these days.
Well,
Huh?
he's very old.
Yeah. Sorry, Rob.
Yeah, he's 93. Come on, Aaron.
It's
Say that
movies from
about
the
me.
60s too. I apologize.
All right.
a good
Aaron
movie.
Sorkin wrote there's a play on Broadway, To Kill a Mockingbird, written by Aaron Sorkin,
Hmm.
who wrote A Few Good Men. So he's good at court.
Oh, okay.
He's good at courtroom stuff.
Yeah, A Few Good Men is very good.
Mhm.
All right.
Liam Neeson's character in Taken.
Terrible dad, but it is
Why?
well because you got to go to Taken 2 to really understand how ridiculous. Like they go to a foreign country and he leaves her alone in a hotel room. It's like
well, let's stick with the first one, the one that most people know.
I mean, I think he's like this action guy who goes and rescues her. So obviously that's very good. But
he's also the one that really encouraged her to be more careful. And the mom was the one like, "Come on."
Yeah, the mom was a mess.
That's true. The mom was going behind the dad's back and letting her do stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say he's a good dad.
All right, I'll give it to him. I'll give him good dad.
And he did kill about 50 people in that movie, but
he's a violent
to get his daughter
murderer.
back.
And there's one thing I know about morals and ethics, it's that the ends justify the means.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, Robin Williams' character in Mrs. Doubtfire. To spend more time with his children, he dresses up as a woman.
I think
scars
good.
them for
I
life.
think good dad.
Yeah.
I'll give him good dad.
Yeah.
Even though they're probably scarred for life when they find out that the nanny was their dad.
Yeah, but those kids were already going to be scarred for life. They were already screwed up.
It's an impossible situation to begin with.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to give him good dad.
We're judging a lot. This is an interesting moral question. Are we judging these guys on their intent, or are we judging them on what they actually do?
What they actually do.
Okay. The intent doesn't matter at all to you?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Darth Vader. I say good. Let me argue. He wanted his son to go in the family business.
Yeah.
That's right.
To rule the galaxy together, father-son company, and then he ends up saving him in the end. So how is he not a good guy?
I'll give you that.
Wow.
I've not seen it enough, but I'll give you that. I didn't know
Star
he saved
Wars?
him at the end, but yeah, I saw him as a kid, and I to be honest with you, I can't sit through him. I've tried to watch him as an adult, and I'm not into it. But I'm going to give you good dad on it.
Good dad, bad guy.
Bad guy,
There
but
you
good
go.
dad.
Bad
I mean,
guy,
you
good
could
dad.
argue like The Godfather
Yeah, exactly.
is
Vito
a
Corleone.
good dad, bad guy, though.
I don't know. He's working on the day of his daughter's wedding. I don't know.
Yeah.
He seems a little
Yeah, that's
bit
true.
of a workaholic,
Yeah.
I say.
I'll do a couple more here. Bruce Willis's character in Armageddon. Do you guys remember that movie?
I don't know if I'm familiar enough with it.
I think I'm not as familiar, but I think good dad. He goes to
an asteroid that's going to destroy Earth. And
yeah, I mean, he's got
drills
a
it.
hard job anyway. He's already working on an oil rig, which is a very hard job. So it's like the guy's going to be rough around the edges.
Yeah.
And then he's been given the option to go save the world, and he sacrifices himself to make sure that it happens.
Golly.
I think good dad.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't do it, then his daughter dies.
Along with everyone else.
Yeah,
So he's got a lot on his plate.
right.
But he left her with Ben Affleck, so
Yeah. And there's also an argument to be had is it's like, if we're all about to die, what is really even the point? Just let it happen. You know what I mean? Like what difference does it make?
Wow.
If the whole world's about to be destroyed, it's like, well, what does it matter? And there's no one to mourn the deaths.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I'll do one more. I saw this movie this weekend. Boys in the Hood.
You know what? I've never seen Boys in the Hood.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Who's the dad?
Lawrence Fishburne. His name's
Okay.
Furious Styles, and Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character
I love Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah,
gets
he's
sent
so
to
good.
live, and he teaches him how to be a man and how to overcome the violence going on in South Central and all that. So it's hard to argue he's not a good dad.
Sure.
I think I like Lawrence Fishburne in every movie I've ever seen him in. I like his character, except for I think King of New York with Christopher Walken.
Mm-hmm.
He plays a kind of a young gangster, and I don't like him so much in that one.
A psychotic drug lord leaves prison bent on sharing his profits with the poor, but finds that the streets are tougher than when he left, and there's no way of washing the blood from his dirty money.
Yeah.
That's a nice tagline.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I had some more, but
Give us one more.
did you ever see the movie Life is Beautiful?
No.
Do you know that movie?
No.
I don't know it either.
It's a
1997 film.
he won Best Actor. It's very dark, but it's a movie about a guy in the Holocaust, and he convinces his son, who's also in the Holocaust, that this is all just a big game that's being played. So his young son never understands what's really going on. He just like tricks him into thinking this is all fun and whatever.
Oh my gosh.
So it's very dark, but in a way, he's the ultimate good dad.
I think so too. You're hopefully saving your son some psychological trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I can't. It's rated the number 26 movie of all time on IMDb. So just in front of where our boy thinks Shawshank should
Yeah.
be.
Mm-hmm.
Top 30.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I'll have to watch that. It sounds like a great movie.
Yeah, I think it's in Italian.
Oh, never mind. But
I mean, I think it has subtitles.
yeah. Oh, won 3 Oscars. How about it?
Yeah. You know what else is awesome? Is Viore clothing. Do you know that, Aaron?
No,
Viore is awesome.
we have already talked about it, but yeah, let's
Yeah,
keep
we
going.
did a fashion episode last week. Unfortunately, we didn't do one last week, but Viore makes me fashion. I got a Viore shirt on right now. What do you think about this, Dusty?
It looks good on you.
Yeah, shows off my body, which everyone likes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's everything you need in clothing when it comes to working out or just lounging around. She wrote in a line here. I like playing solo dodgeball with it now. That's a joke from last week where I didn't know the rules.
You didn't know dodgeball is a team sport.
Okay. I mean,
I had a lot of people defend me on that in the comments.
I don't even know how to go into that though. I don't know how you would even play dodgeball by yourself.
Well, when we were kids and at school, the teacher would be like, half of you get over here, half of you get over here, and just throw dodgeballs at each other until there was one winner. But we weren't like bringing each other in as a team.
Okay. Oh, okay. I thought you meant you played dodgeball alone.
I mean, I did some, but that was
It's tough to lose playing against yourself.
ricocheted off
That's
the
what
wall.
I was like. That's what I was like. I don't even understand this.
Well, anyway, Viore is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they are offering 20% off your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at viore.com/Nate. That's VUORI.com/Nate. You can wear pants in the airport and it's super comfortable.
It is. I'm actually wearing Viore shorts right now. I mean, I'm completely sold on Viore. I had like Nike shorts and all kind of different gym shorts. I don't even wear them.
Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. order over $75 and free returns. Go to Viore.com/Nate and discover the versatility of Viore clothing.
And I don't know, with these, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about what things cost and whatnot, but it's like, if something is sometimes a little pricier, people don't want to get it because they're like, well, that's out of what I normally spend. But sometimes you got to spend a little more to get some good quality stuff.
Mhm.
It's not about a brand. It is about the way you feel wearing it. I bought some cotton boxer shorts unrelated to, Viore.
Mhm.
And they cost more than just going to Target and picking up a pack of underwear.
Uh-huh.
But they changed the game. They
Yeah,
feel good. It's
yeah.
organic cotton. It feels good.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah, underwear is nice.
Yeah.
Let's get to some songs about
Can I-
dads.
This is what I got. I put together a list of 15 songs
Okay.
that I like. And we don't have to spend any amount of time on them, but I'm going to try to rank them in the order. And I've been listening to them today and in the car, and I was tearing up several times.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with the first one. The first one I'm only ranking number 15 because I don't think it's exclusively about dads. It's parenting. But I'm going Trace Adkins, You're Gonna Miss This.
You're gonna miss it.
It's like when you have a kid, I never necessarily cared for the song. I like Trace Adkins. I've hung out with Trace Adkins. I like this guy. But I never really cared about this song. But now that I have kids, it makes me tear up every time. Then I'm going to go, I got 2 George Strait songs. So I'm going to go, the next one is a George Strait. This is number 14. Now I'm ranking them. This is Love Without End, Amen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that one.
It's a love without end, amen.
I don't know.
That's a great one. Really good
There's
dad
one thing
song.
I've learned about this podcast is I will not be able to recognize these songs from the 2 of you singing them.
Yeah, I had that on my list too.
Okay.
I think you would know it if you heard it.
How many do you have on your list?
Looks like 6 or 7.
Okay.
Okay. I did top 35. So we'll do,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Here's another one. Now, this is one I heard from you. I'm going to give it number 13 only because I think it's a great song, but I think she's painted too perfect of a picture and there's no conflict. I like a little conflict with it, but it's Ashley McBryde, Bible, and a 44.
Oh man, that's a great
It's
song.
a great song. It really is a good dad song, but I think she's just painting a perfect picture of a dad, and there's no conflict really, but I like
Well,
it.
it's okay to romanticize your parents every now and then.
It is. But it's really good. Here's number 12. This is a guy I like. He only had like one hit, and I never knew about this song, but I was listening to it, and I'm like, this hits me in a way. Bucky Covington, A Father's Love, The Only Way He Knew How. It's very good.
It's a long title.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in a lot of that's in parentheses. Okay. Next one.
Just the two of us, Will Smith. Yeah.
Well, these are country. It's all country.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, one of them could probably not be considered country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going number 12, Gary Allen, Tough Little Boys.
Tough Little
Do you know 'em, boys?
No.
That's a good one. That's a tearjerker if you're a parent.
Gary Allen's going to be at Bridgestone Arena.
He is, and I'm going to be opening for him in Alabama.
Oh,
Are you really?
Yeah.
When is that?
That's coming up
July?
July.
Wow.
Yeah, Bridgestone Arena.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it'd be my third time performing at Bridgestone Arena. I did a Charlie Daniels volunteer jam,
Mm-hmm.
and then I did the show with you guys and Nate. I actually performed for the Preds there too, so it will be my fourth time doing the show at the thing. All right, let's go. Number 12, I guess. I'm gonna go Keep It Between the Lines, Ricky Van Shelton.
Oh, I know that song.
That's a good one. I'm going to go number 11, Drive for Daddy Jean by Alan Jackson.
I have that one.
What is that? What is it about?
He said,
Well, that song.
piece of my childhood would never be forgotten. It was just an old plywood boat, 75 Johnson, electric choke, a young boy, 2 hands on the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
You know that?
So is it about a car? Or is it
It's really
about a boat.
he talks about the boat, but it's about his relationship with his dad.
really? Through the boat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which it then becomes his relationship with his daughter through a truck.
It's a fun theme of country music is the singing about very specific concrete items instead of abstract ideas.
Well, Dusty has a joke. I'm sorry to interrupt. Dusty has a joke about.
It's okay. I was on the verge of something really profound.
Go
But
ahead.
Yeah, keep
I'm
going.
sorry.
No, it's okay. It's over.
All right. Let's go.
I was kidding.
Okay.
The joke about what?
About a good country song like Going to the Lake. He's like, I've never been to the lake, but you hear a good song. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I've done that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
All right, here we go. Number 10, The Best Day by George Strait.
Oh, The Best Day by Taylor Swift is a good one too.
This
It's about her
could
mom.
be the best day of my life.
Mm-mm.
I've been dreaming day and night about the fun we'll have. All right.
Yeah.
Number 9.
Yeah.
I'm going to go number 9. This is the one that might not be a country song, but it's very good and it's definitely a dad song.
Mhm.
It could be a country song if they just add different instruments.
Mhm.
I'm going Patches by Clarence Carter.
Never heard.
Patches, I'm depending on you, son.
I don't know that one.
Oh, gosh, that's such a good one.
All right.
All right.
Patches. Who's Clarence Carter?
He had
The
he sang-
saxophone player for Bruce
That's what I
Springsteen?
thought.
He sang the songs. Well, I don't want to even say that. It's a famous song.
I know what you're
This-
talking about.
Yeah, this is a good one. All right, here we go. I feel like
Oh, that one.
I feel like I'm off on my
No,
numbers
it's the
now.
one up the top right there.
But let's go number 8, Daddy's Hands by Holly Dunn.
Yeah.
That's a very good one. Let's go. I feel like I have too many songs now.
That's okay. Well, we're almost done with this
Let's
list.
see.
so-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So let's say let's say we're down to 5 now.
Okay.
We're 6. Okay, let's say we're up top 5.
We're at number 5 now. Number 5 is Daddy Never Was the Cadillac Kind by Confederate Railroad.
I think I know that song.
I'm going to say this is 6 because I know the one I forgot.
Okay. Okay.
Number
Yeah.
5 is The Walk by Sawyer Brown.
Oh, that's a great song.
Wow.
Okay. Number 4 is Where Corn Don't Grow by Travis Tritt.
Yeah.
That's a really great one. Now, there was Waylon Jennings had a version of it, but Travis Tritt's the best.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I've only got 2 songs left.
Yeah.
So
All right.
number 2, best songs about dads. Number 2,
Okay.
Reba McEntire, The Greatest Man I Never Knew. Not only do I think that's the number 2 overall song about dad, I think, I do have 3.
How
So
long is this list?
it was 15 songs.
Now we're up to 25.
All right, but I still think this is number 2, but I realized what my number 3 was.
Okay.
But I think this is the number 2 dad song, but also the best Reba McEntire song. She has a huge list, and I don't even think this ever gets considered one of her best songs, but I think it is so good. Number 3 is Paul Overstreet, Seeing My Father in Me. Really great song. Really great song.
Okay. Paul Overstreet.
I noticed I walked the way he walks. I noticed I talked the way he talked. It's so good. And then number 1, best song about dads.
Can I guess?
Yes.
Something by. Never mind. Go.
Conway Twitty, That's My Job.
That's
my job. That's what I do. I relate to that song so much in a lot of ways. Yeah, I don't know if Conway Twitty wrote it. I don't even know if he wrote songs. But it seems like it could be very well about his life. But also, I could notice a lot of parallels in my own life. My dad has not died, but but this song, just a lot of these songs line up for me in a way. Where Corn Don't Grow by Travis Tritt lines up for me in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But That's My Job by Conway Twitty. Number 1, best song about dads.
That's awesome.
What was
there
your
a lot
list?
of overlap with your list, Brian?
I think, The Walk I forgot about. I would probably put that on my list.
The Walk, I don't know how it didn't end up on my list, but I remember it. The Walk is so good.
The Walk to Remember?
No.
Because I took this
Talk
walk.
about Mandy Moore?
Because I took this same walk with my old man. Boy, I've been in your shoes.
And he's singing to his kid?
He's singing to his kid and to his dad, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
My number 1 dad song is I'm Already There.
okay. Is that true?
No.
Okay.
No, it's a song Dusty has a bit about.
Yeah.
Very funny bit. That's in your Netflix special,
It
right?
is, yeah.
No, I didn't.
Very good Netflix special called Working Man. It's available now for streaming.
By Dusty Slay, hilarious comedian.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if this is my list. I didn't rank them, but it's a well-known song about a dad, a boy named Sue.
Yeah, that's a
Named
great
Sue.
song.
That's a good song, but I don't. I guess I went more an emotional.
Yeah.
route.
All right, so the rest of these are emotional.
Yeah, he's not a very good dad in that song.
No.
I did have Alan Jackson Drive.
Yeah.
That was one of my dad's favorite songs. My dad's passed away. I remember him listening to that song. It's a great song. So now when I hear it, I think of him.
It's a great song, and I do. My friend and our friend Travis Wolf convinced me that was a dad song. I had put it more of a song about trucks and about driving, but he's like, it's about a relationship with his dad, and I do agree.
One of these is still country. The other ones aren't. Merle Haggard, If We Make It Through December.
Okay. So I guess I've never really listened to that song that deeply.
It's a great song. It's about he just got laid off and Christmas is coming up and it is tough for the family because, he doesn't know what he's going to do to make ends meet. Now, there is a line in the song where he says, come summertime, we'll move to a warmer city. And I'm like, well, yeah, every city's warmer in summertime.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and do it now?
Yeah, exactly. He says, maybe California. I'm like, well, now would be a good time to go to California in December.
That's also a state.
Or maybe, well, you're right. Can you look up the lyrics? I may have that wrong.
Yeah, what's the name of the song again?
If We Make It Through December.
Yeah. But that's just a funny line. I was like, well, yeah, you should go ahead. And
Did Phoebe Bridgers cover this song? We're going to the Alan Jackson version, right?
Well, I was going with the Merle Haggard.
Merle Haggard wrote the lyrics.
Okay.
A warmer town, one summertime, maybe even California. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. It's a great song.
Yeah. Warmer town. The town of California.
It's one of my favorite small towns.
Yeah.
These aren't country, but Mike and the Mechanics, The Living Years. You guys know that song?
No.
You know that area?
No.
It's just basically about saying things to your dad while they're still alive because, there's stuff you wish he could have said now that he's gone.
Sure.
And a little bit about like we said earlier, once you get older, you realize some of the stuff you disagree with your dad about.
Right.
You now see in his eyes. So it's a great song.
It's that Mark Twain quote.
Yeah. And then these last two are from the perspective of the dad. Lullaby by Billy Joel.
That's a hot song.
I never heard it.
It's a hot
Lullaby,
song.
Good Night, My Angel.
Yeah.
It's like a lullaby. And he basically sings to his daughter.
Good night, my angel.
I feel like you're mocking it, but
No, I mean, that did sound like I was mocking it, but
It did
my
sound-
voice is just a little gone right now. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to, y'all been singing all episode. I'm just trying to hop in.
all right. Anyway,
What's the last one?
well, I mean, are we done mocking Lullaby?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't mocking you. I said it was a hot song.
I know. I'm
The guy
joking.
can't sing. Don't
Oh, yeah.
make fun of him.
I was just happy to hear a song I recognize.
Yeah. I think you'll know this
You
one
didn't
too.
recognize any of those country songs?
I never heard of half the artists you said, but yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I'm a huge Paul Overstreet fan.
I do know Paul Overstreet, but at the end of the Lullaby, he says, well, now I'm kind of thrown off. He says, all right, guys.
Patches, I'm depending
Yeah,
on.
Patches
I could see him
O'Houlihan.
with a shovel in his hand.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a great song.
All right, so number one.
Well, anyway, Stevie Wonder. This is not number one because I didn't rank them, but
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder, Isn't She Lovely?
Yeah.
That's a song to his daughter, and
See, I guess
It's a great song.
you kind of took it more of the dad looking at the kids.
Both.
I was going more for the kids about the dads.
yeah, I mean, I did a little both, but
Yeah. And
I
that's okay. I mean, you're free to do it.
as a
however you
dad
want
of a
to do it.
daughter, Isn't She Lovely? Is I mean, it's just such a sweet song.
Yeah.
Talking about how God.
Well, that's what Tough Little Boys and Gary Allen is about too. He's
Yeah.
basically singing to his daughter, and he's saying, "I was a tough little kid, but I grew up to be a dad." And he says, "When tough little boys grow up to be dads, they turn into be babies again."
Yeah. That was a great lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Lullaby.
Isn't She Lovely is probably, a lot of people don't know that's a song singing to the daughter. Just the way the song is.
Yeah, you think it's about a romantic song.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You going to sing that?
Yeah, isn't she love something like that? Right? I know it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what? Another one that I've been that I listened to is, and I've heard it a few times lately. It's the what is it? He goes, oh gosh,
With Arms Wide Open, Creed.
no, it's an older song, and he's singing it to his son, and it's dang.
Mhm.
Even though we ain't got money, I'm
yeah.
so in love with you, honey. Like originally it was to a woman, I think, and then he
Mhm.
had his son, and then the last verse was written about his son. So I think
That's about his son?
the last verse was, I think so.
Oh, yeah. I love that song.
Even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey.
Why am I drawing a blank on who sings that? You know that song?
No, I haven't.
Brian's song, I think is what it's called.
Brian's song. Great movie.
No, it's not called that. Look
no.
up Even Though We Ain't Got Money song.
Okay. Should I give my one? I have one.
Oh,
that I
I'm
was
sorry.
talking about.
Go ahead.
I like one of my favorite songs ever, Father and Son by Cat Stevens.
Danny's song is what it's called. Okay. Father and
Danny's
Son by Cat Stevens.
Yeah, Cat Stevens.
Can you sing a little bit of it?
How can I try to explain? When I do, he turns away.
You seem like you could sing pretty good.
Yeah. But it's really cool. It's a conversation between father and son, and this song was released in the 70s. Yeah, 1970. Just recently, he recut this where he sings the father's part now.
Mm.
So there's a version where it's him singing it to himself 50 years ago. And it's just
That's
awesome.
awesome.
It's just a great song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Is he the one that sings Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon?
No.
That's
That's a common misconception.
Mhm.
But
That's a good dad song.
yeah, it is a good dad song. It's not a good dad song.
No, but
it's
it is like in the end, the dad's realization, my son was just like me, is like, it's like, ooh,
Mhm.
that hits you.
Yeah, it's tough.
Anyway, I was going to read these last slides, but now
Do
I'm getting choked up reading them.
Uh-huh.
Someday, this is from Lullaby. It kind of seems,
Yeah.
someday we'll all be gone, but lullabies go on and on. They never die. That's how you and I will be. It's very
Wow.
sweet.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Billy Joel's good.
Yeah.
He's a talented guy. Awesome.
All right.
That's probably it. We ended on an emotional note.
I think this was great. I mean,
Mhm.
listen, there's nothing I like better than putting together a list of songs and ranking them.
That's
Okay, that's all I want to do.
uh-huh.
You did mention one dad, or you didn't mention him, but you mentioned Will Smith. It made me
Right.
think about Uncle Phil and how he was
Yeah.
such a great dad,
Right.
father figure on.
It's one of the best episodes in sitcom history. Is that one?
And I keep seeing that on TikTok.
How come he don't want me, man?
Yeah, it's
And then
such a
him and
good
Uncle
scene.
Phil.
Yeah.
Such good acting in that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
Uncle
Uncle Phil, also the episode where he hustles the pool game to get the money back for Will.
Yeah.
He goes, Jeffrey, hand me Lucille.
Yeah, yeah,
dude. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, Uncle Phil was great.
Yeah.
You know, there was a good scene, Family Matters, where they work on this car together. Him and his son, they work on. He's turned 16, and they bought him a car, and they work on this car, and then. Finally, the son, I forget his name. He's driving off, and he's like, "I'm about to," and like
Eddie Winslow.
And yeah, Carl's like a little bit ahead of the car, and then Eddie's like, "I'm about to go pick up my best friend, and we're gonna go for a ride." And then he pulls up and stops right next to his dad, lets his dad in. It's a great emotional moment.
Wow.
Where he's like, "My dad's my best friend."
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah, these are good.
Family matters.
It was
does.
these were shows where the dads weren't made to be stupid. Like Carl, they made fun of him a little bit, but he was still like, he was still a respected family man.
Sure.
I feel like that maybe switched. Like in the 80s, there's obviously the Cosby Show.
Mm-hmm.
He was made fun of some, but the dad was still smarter than the kids,
Right?
Generally speaking.
Yeah.
He was a doctor in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And in the life lessons, it wasn't just the kids always teaching the parents some life lesson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, it was the parents teaching the kid.
Yeah. And then it kind of
brought you into this world. I'll take you out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it kind of switched a little bit somewhere along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots changed about that show.
Like what? All right. Anything else?
No. Just we love you all.
I don't think so. I feel good.
Let's plug some shows.
I like being a dad.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah.
And it changed my life.
Any advice for Aaron?
No, I don't think so. But it changed my life. Even though the whole time my wife was pregnant, it's like, I know this is real. I know this is happening. We're planning for it. I'm excited. But when my baby came and I saw her pop out, I didn't stand there while I stood over my wife's shoulder, but I still saw her come out.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was right there, and I was like, wow, there is a human being inside of her. It changed my life.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Are
You
you
too,
gonna-
Brian? Not that big of a deal for you, but
Nah. Not really. I wasn't there. I was doing a gig in Jackson, Mississippi.
Poughkeepsie, New York.
Yeah.
That's another dad song. John, the Florida guy. I love this guy. But
John
anyway,
Anderson?
John Anderson. He
Buffett?
says, I wish I could have been there. My baby Kane was born. It was the biggest day of my life. Kate, I think, standing there, little rose in her hair in the loving arm of my wife.
Wow.
But I was on the road somewhere 1,000 miles away.
I don't know if I could listen to that right now on the road.
Wish I could have been there.
That sounds depressing.
Wish I could have been there for that.
Well, where can people find you on the road this weekend, Dusty?
This weekend, I'm going to be in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
What a
at
town.
Dr. Gren's.
Wow.
I've been on a real theater run. This next 2 months, I'm going to take a little time off, but I'm also doing mainly clubs.
Right.
So I'll be doing a bunch of clubs. And Grand Rapids, I got 5 shows. 2 are sold out. So let's go ahead and get the others sold out. I think I sold out them all last year. So let's not regress. I know it's the summertime in Michigan. Last time I was there, it was the dead of winter. And that's where everybody goes inside to watch comedy. But let's bring it on in.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to say this last thing.
Yes.
When I was in North Dakota,
Right.
I would go do my show. My show would be over. It would be 9:30 at night.
Wow.
I would come outside, still daylight.
Yeah, it's crazy,
Well,
right?
what's going on around
I know.
here?
What's that all about?
I don't know.
Yeah, daylight savings, dude. We got to figure it out.
They're really saving it up there. But yeah, Grand Rapids this weekend is going to be really great. Pumped about it.
July 3rd, I am going to be at the new lab at Zany's.
Awesome.
I've yet to even see it, but I'm doing a
Alright.
Brian Bates and Friends show there on July 3rd.
Oh, I want to do it.
You do?
Yeah, I think so. If I'm in town,
All right.
yeah, I'd like to do it.
Dusty Slade's going to be on it.
Must be nice to get on shows like that.
You want to do it, Aaron?
I'll do it. I'll be here. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, look
Well,
at that.
So
All right.
Aaron and Dusty on it. I got some other friends on
You
it.
got to go check out the shrine to Dusty Slay set up
yeah.
in the lab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really milking this "he's from here" thing.
It is
You know what
hot,
I mean?
though. I was very excited to see it.
Yeah.
It is very nice what they did.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's
I look
very
forward to
nice what
seeing
they
it.
did there.
Yeah, if you walk in there, it looks like Nate and Dusty have died.
Yeah.
And and you go, "Geez, guys, they're still here."
Hey,
Let
Are
them-
you the only comic in America who's on 2 walls?
I don't know,
Maybe,
but
maybe.
Yeah.
Zany's in the Grove. If
Yeah.
people are
That's
listening.
right. Yeah,
very
Big
excited.
time.
So July 3rd.
that'll
come,
be awesome.
come to the lab at Zany's.
That room is awesome. If you're in Nashville, go check out the lab.
It's
That
100.
show,
It's 100 seater, so tickets go fast.
and it's fun in there.
It is fun in there.
This weekend, Aaron Weber speaking here. I'm going to be in Sunnyvale, California, the Bay Area, at a club called Rooster T. Feathers. I've never been. I've heard good things about it. I'm super excited. Coming out and see me this weekend in Rooster T. Feathers Comedy Club, Sunnyvale, California, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. One more show I want to plug, July 13th, Lake Forest, Illinois. I think it's between Milwaukee and Chicago. I'm doing the Gorton Event Center. I got doing a theater gig out there between Milwaukee and Chicago. So if you're in the Chicago area, come on out July 13th. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, man. What?
All right.
What?
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
All right.
I just asked him between Chicago and Milwaukee. That's the south side of Chicago.
No, that'd be the
No,
north
Milwaukee's north of Chicago.
Oh, okay, all right, okay, good. I don't know my geography, but
Yeah.
I was like,
I also don't know for sure that's where it is,
Okay.
but it's up there.
okay,
Lake Forest, Illinois.
side. You find it. Yeah, make them work a little bit.
You look it up. You find where
Yeah.
the tickets are. You come. You
I
sit
didn't.
down.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought Chicago was above Milwaukee, but I guess that does. I have passed through Chicago every time to go to
Mhm.
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I do want to wrap it up.
Well, feel free to do it.
All right. Here we go. Listen, guys, we had a good time. Everything's great. Thank you to our sponsors, Chime Financial, Aura Frames, Delete Me, and Viore Clothing.
And Nate's back next week.
That's right.
And I think he's back for the next few weeks. I don't think he's gone anytime soon after this weekend. So
Good deal.
All right.
happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, the two of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two good dads.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron.
Two
Thank you.
great dads.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Nateland is produced by Nateland Productions and by me, Nate Bargatze, and my wife Laura on the Audio Boom platform. Recording and editing for the show is done by Genovations Media. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next week on the Nateland Podcast.